And we and hello and welcome to the 1v1 show where we tell you guys the latest in nerd culture news. And today we have a bunch of topics going from the Grammys, Power Rangers, PS5, the MCU, and so much more. I'm Hyphy Soul, and you can call me Mikey. And taking over as host for every week here on the 1v1 show is Geo Huey Flo, who will explain to you what we do here and introduce our guest host. So, what up, Gio?
What up, Mikey? Let me get the one. All right, so welcome to the 1v1 show. For all of those who are long time, I want to thank you for your continued viewership of our show. For those of you who are brand new or not too familiar with the way our show goes, let me give you the rundown or kind of the breakdown of how the show goes. We start off me and either Mikey or one of our guest hosts. What we do is we go through at first the subtopics, which is the quick hits. 5 minutes per topic. We have 5 topics for each host, where we kind of give you information, our opinions, our thoughts. We run through them, and we go through basically a variety of different things. It could be anime, it could be sports, it could be music, it could be video games, it could be comic books, it could be almost anything that is niche and has an audience that either me or our guest host or Mikey is passionate about. Is stuff that we want to talk about, and we hope that a lot of those topics resonate with you all, the audience. Then, afterwards, from there, we go into our main topics, where we have a little bit more of a longer, long-form, deeper discussion, a deep dive, if you will. So, if you go into, sorry, I guess I'm out of practice after 2 weeks. But we go into these deeper topics so we can, hopefully get into a little bit more of a nuanced conversation where we can talk about maybe a review of something, maybe how we feel about certain things. And then also we talk about how we can also talk about, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm out of practice. But anyways, let's move on. Also, I want to also plug our social medias. If someone can do the 1v1 command on the chat, you can see our social media, our YouTube, our Twitter, our Instagram, and also our Patreon, where if you want to throw us a few bucks each month, you can get some perks. So go check it out. If you can't throw us a couple bucks, no worries. Your viewership here is just as appreciated, and we appreciate you for sticking around and watching. Except for you, Ryan Gosling lookalike. You, I don't know about that guy. Anyways, also, please stick around after the show, because we do have a post-show, which is a little bit more lax, free-form conversation, and we might even get into some, into some just kind of personal stuff. What are we doing with our lives? What's going on? And things of that nature. But now, let me introduce our guest host for today. It is the man Tokyo Sun. Thank you for joining us.
Yo,
What's up, dog?
Man. Yo, appreciate it, man. So yeah, my name is Tokyo Sun. That's 2 underscores for when you're searching for me on Twitch. Usually on there, I am live Mondays, Wednesdays around 10 p.m. Fridays they vary. Saturdays they vary. when I'm streaming, but I might be just trying to jump in the 1v1 show from here on out if they would have me. But I'm loving it, man. But I appreciate you guys for the opportunity to come here and co-host. It's gonna be a blast, man. We're gonna have fun with these topics, man. So you guys should definitely stick around. And I'm also on Instagram as well. It's Tokyo Sun, just 1_ there, I believe. And you can also find me on YouTube where I need to post more videos. So Tokyo Sun as well. So definitely appreciate it, man. Let's get
For sure, man. So what are just so the audience kind of gets a feel for who you are as a person. What are the things that you're interested in? What are your what's your passions as far as
passions?
Yeah.
All right. So some of my passions been gaming since I can remember, since Super Mario World, I believe on the Super Nintendo. So yeah, I've been gaming, man. I'm a huge gamer. I love PlayStation. I used to be a fan of Xbox, but it's now my X. But I'm gonna get back to getting it because I got to play Fable and I want to play some Halo. So still in the game, so I'm loving that. I love PC as well. Another passion of mine, I'm loving anime. I was a little behind. I started off with Dragon Ball Z, but I'm caught up now. I'm currently watching some. Well, we'll get into that. But I'm watching some anime as well. I'm loving that. Love movies. Into the sports. KD is the best in the world. That's just my opinion. And I love comics, man.
All right, Doug. For sure. Well, let's hop into it. Let's get into our first topic. Our first subtopic of the day. We're talking about Danganronpa, which is something that most people are not familiar with. It is a visual novel that is created by was published by Spike Chunsoft, and it was written by Kazutaka Kodaka, who was the main writer, director, creator of the series. Now, what does that have to do with this story? Spike Chunsoft streamed a teaser trailer for its and Tokyo Games' new game, Enigma Archives Raincode, which is described as a dark fantasy mystery game that reunites the staff of the Danganronpa series, including scenario writer Kazutaka Kodaka, composer Masafumi Takeda, and designer Rui Komatsuzaki. So, they didn't really describe anything in the game other than it will be a mystery adventure game that no one has ever seen before, and the key visuals and the screenshots seem to suggest mazes, spooky ghosts, pink blood, and long, ominous dark clouds will be involved. I am super excited for this. I'm a big fan of the Danganronpa games. Have you ever heard of Danganronpa, Tokyo-san?
I have not heard of Danganronpa, so you are schooling me right now. What I would say, you're sonning me right now because I have no idea what I'm learning. I'm loving it.
There's basically two. There's kind of it's kind of confusing because there's the games and there's the anime, and there's 3 seasons of the anime. But so this is what I would say. It's basically, think of it as kind of a murder mystery game where you are basically a regular high school kid and you're stuck in a school with all these like high school geniuses, and the evil teddy bear basically he basically forces you and your classmates to play a game where if you murder someone, you can escape, but the rest of the class can't find out you're the one who committed the murder. It's a more of a visual novel type game that's very akin to basically Phoenix Wright. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of that. It's a little bit more mainstream.
So this seems like it's like a spin-off of, not spin-off because that's disrespectful, but it seems like it's Assassination Classroom, but kind of in a dark style a little bit.
It's very more of a darker Assassination Classroom, and it's a little bit more on. I want to say Assassination Classroom is a little bit more like action, hijinks, but there is a mystery surviving it. But I think this is very much a darker take on that.
Interesting.
Because they do go into some themes that are like, oh, I didn't know they would go there.
Is the season finished, or I mean, they're just
the games are done as of now. I mean, they say that they might get a new game out, that they're not done with the series, but it's been about 4 or 5 years since the last one. I want to say, maybe. Wow. Yeah, it's been, but I highly recommend watching it. They just released all 3 games on Switch as like a collection. So if you want to catch up on that, that's probably the best place to do it.
Nice.
But I'm excited for the new game because Kodaka, I mean, he has come out with a couple new games. Like recently, last year, he came out with, I think it's called World's End Club, which I still need to play. I've heard reviews were pretty mixed on it, but definitely Danganronpa is what he's known for, like the mystery, the murder, the kind of darkness to it. So I'm like I said, I'm excited for it. It's got a very distinct visual style. I think one of the things it's more known for that it's going to be in Danganronpa, but also in this new game, is blood is usually in like a hot pink color, so it doesn't look as gruesome. So it's very much like a psycho horror pop feel. So definitely, I think it's worth a play.
So is this the RPG or
no? It's
action.
Have you? It's not action or RPG. It's very much kind of like a brain teaser type game.
Okay.
But it does have some action things where you're basically going through a trial. The gameplay is you go through a trial and you have to look for kind of the logical fallacies and flaws in people's arguments, and you literally like shoot them down. Because Danganronpa, I think it translates to bullet refutation, where basically you are literally like shooting down arguments with other arguments. It's very hard to describe, but I would definitely say take a look at it. There is an anime season for the first game. Don't watch it. It's a trash. It's a trash adaptation. I would definitely say play the games.
Oh, just play the games. Don't watch the anime. Oh,
well, it's confusing because they have first two games, and then they have 2 seasons of the anime. The first season of the anime covers the first game. Skip that.
Okay, so skip
but then
that. So watch the game, and then
they
play the game, and then watch the 2 seasons of anime.
And then they have season 3 because they skip season 2 of the anime and just go into season 3, which is like in 2 different arcs.
Wow.
And I would say watch those and then play the third game after. It's kind of complicated, but it's definitely worth the journey in my opinion.
All right. So I mean, I might just go in depth with it all, just watch it all, play it all. I might if you're recommending it, man, I like your opinion, and generally you're in the right senses for what I like. So I'm probably gonna take your word for it, man. I'll try it out, man. I might throw it on stream a little bit and see how I like it for sure.
Sure.
I play
Is it like LA Noire?
gyms, so if it's a gym, then yeah. Oh yeah, I love LA Noire. What? Hyphy? Come on now. Yes, that game is sick.
Hey, Gio, is it like LA
But it's
Noire
slow.
where you're like trying to like find holes in other person's stories and you press X to doubt? That kind of thing?
Kinda, but it's really weird. It's like because you have like arguments are like flying on the screen, and you have to like literally like your like bullets are like counter arguments, and you got to cycle through your counter arguments and then shoot down the arguments. It's very weird. I'm trying to describe it as best as I can, but definitely worth definitely worth
Googling it, man. I'm trying to find some gameplay, but I want to pull it up. I was like, you gotta be excited though.
Be careful though. Spoilers. There's spoilers.
Oh, there's spoilers out there.
Spoilers everywhere because this game's pretty old.
How much is it? Do you know, or is it since
It's,
they released the?
I think it's you can get the 3 main games for. I think it's the 3 games and a spin-off game for about $50, $60 on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not bad.
All right, let's move on. So tell me about. So I've kind of heard about this. I remember seeing a trailer about this, but tell me about Crimson Desert.
Cool. So Crimson Desert. All right, so the Crimson Desert impressed a lot of people with its visuals. When Pearl Abyss initially revealed that in 2019, I remember seeing this and I was actually blown away, and I didn't say anything while watching it, but it looked amazing. So while this game has been delayed, a new gameplay video was actually leaked recently. I believe a couple of days ago on December the 1st or December the 2nd. However, the gameplay video packs 2 minutes of gameplay footage. Moreover, it shows the game's snow deformation effects as well as weather effects. So basically, it's showing a lot of you walking through the snow. It's showing the changing of the seasons, but however, how it rains, very beautiful actually, and to be coming out for the consoles in the near future. So I mean, I would definitely look at that because that's actually important when looking into games, uh, and how their weather affects the games and makes you, feel a different way while in the actual game. And so Crimson Desert is also an upcoming open world action adventure game, so featuring an epic fantasy world. Um, in a war for survival, three tribes will fight for control of the Puel continent. And so there's no solid release date yet as it's been pushed back, but this one, of course, it looks like a AAA game. I definitely recommend going and looking at some of these trailers, looking at the gameplay that they have, even though it's just weather. Still, look how beautiful the weather is, man, and get hyped for it because some of the action scenes that you see in the trailer that they released back in 2019, it actually shows some of the combat, how it's going to play out, and it looks really good. So this looks like I believe how if you hit it on the head. Basically, this is Dragon Age and Skyrim, basically in a sense, is what I'm getting the vibes for that as well. So it feels like this game is going to be one for the ages. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going to see that.
For sure. I
And
I think
and
I'm familiar because Pearl Abyss. I
mhm.
remember they have another game. I think it's called Black Desert. It's a mobile. Well, it's on console, but it was also a mobile game. I remember seeing the commercials for it, and it actually looked very impressive as far as like being a mobile game. Like the character models looked like really good. So when this came out, it wasn't surprising to me that the game looked gorgeous. I do remember because I remember this trailer dropped. I want to say during the Game Awards that year, 2019. And while it did look pretty, I do remember seeing some like frame rate drops as far as when the gameplay was actually being shown. So hopefully they can kind of they're using this time to kind of shore up those technical mishaps so it can
Right.
run as pretty as it looks.
Which I'm sure that they are. I mean, a lot of these are probably. I mean, once again, that was leaked. That wasn't supposed to come out. So, like a lot of that they've shown. I mean, of course, that was early alpha stage probably. And I mean, for that massive game, for them to push it back, I'm sure that they're polishing it. This doesn't look like one of those games like Assassin's Creed where they're dropping it out every year. But I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah, for
not
sure.
familiar with Pearl Abyss games.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm not familiar with them, but for this one, I still will give it a try. So I'm wondering, what it's going to actually feel like. Have you played any of like the Dragon Age games?
Oh yeah, I played all. I think three of them. Yeah, right.
Okay.
There's one. There's Origins number two, and then
Mhm. So
what's
this
the
one's
last
right up
one?
your alley then. So this one's right up your alley.
Yeah, and I have to play a little bit also of Skyrim, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I'm excited. Because I'm assuming this is gonna come out to consoles. I don't have a gaming PC, but I do have a PS5. So I'm excited to see how it goes, kind of how the combat looks, like how in depth the kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? How in depth the world is, like quests, how do you have companions, how does your party work? Kind of what's the depth of the story? Is there choices you can make? I'm very excited for it.
You know what this reminds me of though? Like how a mystery of Ghost of Tsushima was. So I don't know if you remember when they dropped like a gameplay trailer for it for like PlayStation, and then they like ghosted and didn't come back for a little while. And then they dropped the game, and then this game was a freaking masterpiece, right? I think the same. I'm getting the same vibe from Crimson Desert because you don't really hear a lot from it. They dropped the trailer and then kind of disappeared and did their thing, and they're still doing their thing. But somebody dropped a leak, of course, to keep their name relevant. It seems like, but still, I'm getting that same vibe, and I'm thinking that this open world is going to be like I'm just gonna be into it. Like it's gonna be one of those that you're gonna want to definitely grab. I think it's gonna be a gem that some people may overlook because not a lot of people love that open world sandbox type feel.
For sure.
Yeah,
All right.
not sure where I'm at on time on there, but sorry if I went over.
Nah, you're good, Doug. Like I said, it's basically just kind of to keep us. It's just more of a visual cue than like a strict guideline, just to help us keep it flowing. But speaking of flowing, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about the Grammys. You know, I'm a big music guy. I don't know what your background is, Tokyo-san, on music. Like, are you have favorite genres, artists that you listen to? Are you more into like the underground, or are you really familiar with the radio hits and stuff?
So
Pretty-
I'm underground hip hop. I like a
Okay.
lot of like underground hip hop artists. Now
Okay.
something like Loot. Nobody's really heard of Loot, Lute. So he's really dope. Like I like a lot of lyricism when I'm listening to hip hop.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. I love the headbangers as well and going to the clubs and hearing those music. I've been in mosh pits. I've been so I like music. I just can't get into country though. That's about it.
I feel it, man. I'm not a country fan either. Music is very. I think when it comes to music, it is very much a lot of the environment where where you're saying like on your own time in the car, when you're at home, when you're chilling, when you just want to relax, or you're having, you're just grubbing, you're just rolling around, you want to listen to like that lyrical stuff, but also like there's a time and place for like the headbangers and the club music when you are at a party or at a club, and I think a lot of the times music can also be a very, what's the word, environmentalist,
Right.
or not environmentalist, environment based, to where depending on where we are, kind of depends on our mood and what we want to listen to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the Grammys just came out with their nominations this year, and I gotta say, man, I'm either very very disappointed, and I'm not. I don't know who these people are. So you have a couple of the regulars. You have your Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish. Um, very like kind of whatever. I have my feelings about these artists, to be honest, and
Mhm.
maybe we'll get into it. But Lady Gaga is on there for Record of the Year. And very very interesting that ABBA got nominated for Record of the Year. Very
Opera.
ABBA, like Dancing Queen,
Right.
like very, very weird. But I still have faith in you, ABBA. Freedom by John Batiste, who is leading all nominations with 14. If you're not familiar with John Batiste, you might also know him. He's the band leader of the Stephen Colbert Show, and I guess he does a lot of jazz music. So
Okay.
he's leading with 14 nominations. Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, I get a kick out of you. Peaches by Justin Bieber with Daniel Caesar and Giveon, which that's not a good song, so whatever. Right on Time by Brandy Carlisle. Brandy Carlisle is a name that I hear a lot, but I've actually never heard her music. Kiss Me More by Doja Cat featuring SZA. Okay. Um,
SZA,
whatever.
SZA's a nice artist.
I
She's
do
really
like SZA too, but Doja Cat's very. I don't know. I don't dislike her, but Record of the Year, meh.
and I'm
Uh,
surprised that Justin Bieber is still relevant. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's still there.
Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. I despise Billie Eilish. I don't think she's a good artist at all. Montero, Call Me by Your Name by Lil Nas X. I have no beef with Lil Nas X, but I don't think this song was like that good to be up here. I think it's an alright. I think it's an okay song. I like Lil Nas X. I think he's a cool artist. He does a lot of things to push boundaries, but
Mhm. Of
not
course,
really
yeah.
there
I
for it.
haven't listened to I haven't listened to a lot of Little Nas X.
Yeah,
Listen to a lot of Nas, but yeah, I haven't listened to him. I don't have anything against him. I just haven't come across his music, and I might have heard it and it's been like it might have been dope, but I just never really paid attention to him like as an artist. But he might be very well dope. However, he pushes the envelope, with being out there in the media and how he presents himself. That's irrelevant to how someone speaks on music. So
yeah, no, for sure. I think also it does. It is irrelevant on the music, but I think also just him having the kind of that artistic freedom to express himself is pretty
mhm.
cool.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's where we're heading. Yeah, you got to have artistic freedom.
Yep.
I think that's good. I mean, you shouldn't limit yourself, but I mean, you should also push boundaries if you want to. I mean, it's yourself. It's you. It's
It's
you
who you
being you.
are. Yeah.
And not a lot of people are themselves. I mean, we lose ourselves as becoming what adults, but I mean, just to touch upon that, but I mean, when you're able to actually be yourself, I think that's golden. I think that means that nobody can tell you what to do, nobody can own you, and he's owning up to everything. So I mean, that's good, and he's up there, for Grammys nominated. So I mean, shout outs.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out
really
to
good.
him.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Olivia Rodrigo, driver's license. Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. I think Silk Sonic should win this. I think
Mm.
they put out probably the best mainstream album, in my opinion. Uh, because their whole album is full of bangers, but they're not nominated for album of the year. They just got record of the year. Album of the year, you have John Batiste, We Are, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga for Love for Sale, Justice Triple Chucks Deluxe by Justin Bieber, Planet Her by Doja Cat, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, Back on My Mind by Her. I think Her is dope. I very much enjoy
Yes.
her music.
Yes, I was hoping you were gonna stop at her. I was like, yes, her is so dope, and I'd say, like I really enjoy. I don't know if I've heard Back on My Mind, but I need to listen to it because I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah. Montero by Lil Nas X, Sour by Olivia Rodrigo, aka Taylor Swift Jr., Evermore by Taylor Swift. I feel like they're gonna give it to the mediocre white woman, man. I feel like they're gonna do that. They always do. They always give the award to the mediocre white women. I just feel like it. And then Donda by Kanye, which is actually very surprising because in my opinion, that's not a good album.
Oh man. So yeah, Donda. That was an interesting listen. That was a very interesting listen. I didn't necessarily say I disliked it. I mean, it had some bangers on there. Let's be honest, but it was definitely a different outlook on Kanye. Like I remember Kanye, the old Kanye, and I mean, I'm almost reciting his rhymes at this point. People
Yeah.
want the old Kanye back, but I mean, he's still Kanye West, and he's still a musical genius. So what he's doing in the lane that he's in, he's consistently showing that he's evolving. So you have to step into the realm of Kanye when you're listening to his music. He's never going to be that same person because he was a different person back then. So
Exactly.
right now we're going through the growth of Kanye and we're experiencing the new Kanye, which he's expressing it through his music. Musical geniuses never retract back to what they've done previously because there's no reason to do that. So in my field, Donda is an expression of his artistry, and then when he goes on tour some more, we're gonna see the full picture of what his mind had in store for everything. So I think Donda's worth a listen. I think it might be worth maybe going back and listen to it again, but who knows? These other albums could have blew it out the water. So I mean, it just
I mean,
it just
I
is
don't
what
know.
it is.
I think
What it
also
is.
Kanye's like, I don't know. I think he is a genius, but also he's
Mhm.
kind of full of himself, and I think he surrounded himself with yes men, and even he kind of acknowledges the fact that like, like he grows or he's not he basically went on. I remember I think it was a Drink Champs podcast talking about how he was like, yeah, I was pretending to be a backpacker. I was faking that whole time, and he was saying like, I don't even really listen to Talib Kweli's rap. So I was like, dog, get out of here. Fuck you, Kanye.
Oh wow.
But,
And
uh,
he's one that pushes the envelope as well. I mean, we were just talking about Little Nas.
yeah,
He's one that definitely pushes the envelope. I mean, with everything he's done in the media and how he's doing it, and it's just like, all right, people are still gonna buy Yeezys.
yeah,
People are still gonna buy your music. The people are still gonna
yep.
listen to you.
The man said slavery was a choice, and people still support him. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he kind of lost me a little bit with some of that stuff, but I mean, like I said, whatever they do in the media doesn't necessarily mean that they can't make dope music. And I'll still listen to their music.
man,
I mean, it just is what it
I'm
is.
gonna bootleg his shit. That's what is gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Anyways,
Nice, nice.
let's move on to number 3. All right. So we're all familiar, at least most people who are like kind of in the gaming sphere, was familiar with Xbox Game Pass. But this next story we're hearing. Oh wait, no. Did I skip a topic? I did.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh yeah, no,
to
we're going on to
Dying Light.
Dying Light. So tell me about Dying Light. What do you know about this game? Then the
So
sequel
yeah,
coming out.
yeah, it's got the sequel coming out. Dying Light 1. Basically, just a quick synopsis about it. It's a survival zombie game. You can play multiplayer with other players, and I think this one is more based upon like the parkour and the night and day system. And so, however, with the Dying Light 2, news on the Dying Light 2. So, yeah, Stay Human went completely dark in 2020. After it was delayed, its release window of the spring of last year, almost a year went by without so much of an update, right? So, part of that could be blamed for the coronavirus pandemic. Everyone suffered. Everything happened. A lot of people are taking times now with games. So, we don't know what may have happened. However, they're taking their time, it seems like. Now, the game has lost its writer and art director at the beginning of 2001, mid reports of very troubled developments, right? So this game kind of is in trouble. However, this game is it's set to release in February, even though it's going through some of its problems. They've pushed it back into February. Now, why is that an issue, or could this be a one up? So the way I'm looking at it is it's going to be going against Horizon
Mhm.
and Elden Ring. Excuse me, Elden Ring, right? And so also just a little bit as well. So February 2022 is long been shaping up to the huge month for PlayStation. So it's going to kick it off with Dying Light 2. Um, Now it's gonna, and then that's gonna be soon followed by Sifu on the 8th, King of Fighters 15 on the 17th, Horizon Forbidden West on the 18th, and Elden Ring on the 25th, just to give you some dates so you can see what's happening here. Okay, so Dying Light, it's definitely sold a lot of copies since its release in on the PS4. So I believe it sold about 17 million copies. In Horizon, another big heavy hitter, sold only about 10 million copies. Now, in my opinion, Dying Light is going to be a great game. Horizon is going to be something that's going to set the year off for Sony, to be honest with you, as an exclusive for PlayStation 5, but they ported it. You're still going to be able to play for PS4, which is good. And Elden Ring from FromSoft, people are loving that, and people are going to want to play that. Now, Jill, are you familiar with Dying Light, or are you familiar with any Horizon or Elden Ring?
Yeah, I basically for me, like I'm familiar with Dying Light. I've seen the game, people playing it, and it looked intriguing. The thing to me is when I watched the trailers for the second game, is the importance of choice and how the game really revolves around what you make and what decisions and the kind of the world and the story dynamically adjust to what you do. Like, are you going to cut off the supply of water? Are you going to kill those bandits? And the game adjusts to whatever decisions you make and kind of go from there. Which to me, I find that very intriguing. I like when stories kind of give you that kind of branching path where your choices do matter. Um, I am familiar with that game. So, the thing about Dying Light 2 is that it really went dark. It went dark in 2020, but it was announced even before then. So it's been basically in development for a while. And the question is, do people still care? Because I feel
I
like,
think
human beings in general, but gamers especially, we have short attention spans to where if we people there might be a core audience that does care, but I think when you put it next to something like Elden Ring, which is the Souls like new Souls from the studio that makes a Souls game, that's like they're pretty mainstream, big stuff. It's got the George R. R. Martin also basically feature, as well as Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a Sony first party studio that is going to get that Sony like marketing machine in front of it. You have these two heavyweights. Like, I feel and fear that Dying Light 2 might get lost in the shuffle. It could be something that I think we were talking about earlier, like Games Pass could save it,
Mhm.
or at least get people to play it. Or it might be something that, after February, if like March and April are kind of slow months, then people are like, oh, Dying Light 2 came out, I'll pick this up, and it kind of receives a little bit of a steam from there. But I don't know. We'll see. I think for sure though, in my opinion, I think Elden Ring is gonna be the big winner that month. I think Horizon's gonna do pretty good. It's gonna get its comeuppance, but I think Elden Ring is gonna blow
That's
everything out
interesting.
the water.
That is very interesting. I think Dying Light 2, in my opinion, it's going to be one of those games that people are still going to pick up because they're tired of Back for Blood, right? They're tired of the Back for Blood series and they want to pick up another multiplayer game to play with their friends, right? This is going to be one of those. I think it's going to sell copies. If they do grab it on Game Pass, that's even better. That means that they'll be playing it more consistently because it's a free game. They may even wait to get some of those games. But people that are getting Dying Light 2 may not necessarily want to play Elden Ring. So I think Elden Ring is like you have three, and they kind of played it correct. I feel like you have the multiplayer game, you have the two single player games, but they know that they're not gonna rival with Elden Ring because some people are not gonna buy that. They're just not. Horizon, however, it's like they're going up against it, but it's still a single player game and it's going to be excellent. However, I think Dying Light is going to just be great for people that want to get together with their friends. And then when they want to, stop doing that, then they'll play some Horizon or Elden Ring. Now for the month to touch upon, because you said Elden Ring, on my end, I'm going to go Horizon, even though I might be a little biased because I love my PlayStation. I think Horizon is going to dominate that because of how it's going to look and how it's going to just feel in the gameplay, the story aspect that's going with it. But of course, Elden Ring is going to sell, and I think they're both going to be amazing. To be honest with you, in this game, let's not forget that Horizon should have been out. They pushed
True.
it back because of they wanted to port it to PS4. So Sony is actually looking out for people as well as like God of War. Like because of the shortage of PS5s, these games should have already been out. We should already have these games. So, I mean, even the little bit of time to even more like perfect the game, I think that it's gonna definitely shine. They have complete control with Sony, and yeah, they're gonna do something amazing. But I just can't wait to play all of them. Let's just be honest. So
For sure. Yep. I mean, either way, we're gonna be eating good in February.
either way, we'd be eating
Either
very
way.
good.
For sure. All right, let's move on to our next topic, which is the Power Rangers. So, last year it was announced that Entertainment One, which is Hasbro's entertainment studio, they were basically going to create a new Power Rangers cinematic universe, and basically it would span both movies and TV shows, and it would be helmed by Jonathan Entwistle, who is the creator and showrunner of Netflix's I Am Not Okay With This and the producer of The End of the Effing World. Now it's been confirmed by Deadline that the new universe will be coming to Netflix, and there will be a film that was announced in 2019 that will be directed by Jonathan Entwistle and written by Patrick Burleigh, who also wrote Eternals and Peter Rabbit 2. Those are two very different movies. This is very weird. But basically, the story will be the Power Rangers will travel in time to the 1990s and try to find a way to get back. It's pretty interesting that they're basically creating a new Power Rangers universe for the fact that they just had a reboot movie, I believe in 2017 or 18.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie. I don't remember what year it came out, but yeah, I remember watching that movie.
It
It was not
wasn't that long
bad.
ago, and they
Nah,
basically, I think what happened was the rights to the Power Rangers went to another company, and they just basically threw that reboot away. Very interesting.
it was
But
17.
was it 17? Okay, yeah. So it wasn't that long ago. What is that? 4 years? I mean, it's not that long ago in the grand scheme of things, but it definitely feels like 2017 doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But maybe it's just because I'm getting older and time just doesn't matter anymore. But regardless, we'll see. I mean, what direction? What is the vibe going to be of this new Netflix Power Rangers? Because I remember watching Power Rangers as a kid, and I think I watched from the OG series all the way to, I think, In Space, and then I kind of fell off from there. I think, well, let me see. Power Rangers. There's Power Rangers. There was Zeo, Turbo, and I think In Space was the one after that. And then from there, I kind of fell off. But if they're finally going to start connecting the universes and make one cohesive thing, maybe it's not going to be as just for kids as the original show is. But I'll keep an eye out. I have nostalgia for the Power Rangers. I used to love it, but am I interested now as an adult? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it looks.
I mean, it's not one of those universes that are like Marvel and DC. I mean, like it's kind of like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It's like, in a sense, it's like, all right, yeah, you got a group and they're fighting and it's fine. But I mean, I watched the OG series as well. I still have the VHSs, not to age myself, but yeah, I still got the Burger King VHSs that I'm gonna keep, the originals. And but I liked it. I don't think I went really past the originals. I kind of was over it a little bit, or I don't know if Pokemon came out and then it just took my attention. I don't know what happened, but
Maybe.
uh,
I remember the episode. I forgot what series it was, but it was the crossover with the Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles. I remember as a kid thinking like, "Oh, this is the dopest thing ever!"
yeah,
I'm like super hyped.
right, exactly. It's pumped.
It was our
Like,
first
I need
crossover.
It was.
right.
Nunez 317 in the chat says, "Did y'all ever watch the Power Rangers bootleg universe trailer? Is that the one with the Dawson? Do you remember there was like a fan made Power Rangers trailer, but it had James Vanderbeek in it, and I think he was playing Rocky. He's playing one of the Red Rangers, and it was like kind of like it was like a gritty, edgy Power Rangers
Oh, yeah, I did
universe
see that.
reboot, and I thought it was well done. It definitely looked better than the actual like movie that they came out with, but
So
interesting.
the only one that I've seen, to be honest with you, and I'm sorry, what was the name of the person? Oh, Nunez. So yeah, Nunez. So the only one that I saw was, like, I think it was the one with the Green Ranger with Tommy or whatever. I think that was the only one that I'm aware of. But no, I haven't seen anything else, to be honest. But but I'm still a fan though, man. I'm still a
Yeah.
fan. I think some of these fan made trailers are definitely like better than the movies, or better. They have better concepts, but I mean,
Yeah. No, crazy. It's crazy too because I think there's been a like an uptick of like people who create those like fan made things coming out and then actually getting some type of deal, or there's actually an adaptation, or they actually work on stuff like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air like fan made trailer is actually getting turned into a series now. So
really,
yeah, it's gonna be on Peacock next year.
oh, okay.
Hey,
All right,
do you
so
guys remember
that's
that
probably
Portal short? It's a short film about Portal, the game. With
Yeah.
the director of that short, Dan Trachtenberg, he went on to direct 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that
I
movie
mean,
was good. I like that.
that was a good movie.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's get into our next topic. We're finally getting into this one after I tried to skip ahead to it earlier, but we're all familiar with Xbox Games Pass and how it works and how it's pretty much basically changed the gaming landscape and how we look at how we buy games or subscription services. And Sony seemed to be falling behind the terms, but according to this news story, I guess they are planning on
Wait, this is
combating
Tokyo's topic.
Games Pass. Oh, my bad. But why don't you tell me about it, Tokyo-san? Tell me what this
Well,
place.
no, I was gonna plainly just read through some of this, man, so everybody can get on board and they have a sense of what they're gonna be doing, because I think everybody's familiar with the Xbox Game Pass and what it means for the gamers and what it's actually providing. And I mean, you guys may not remember when PlayStation actually went on record to say that, hey, they don't believe that Game Pass or something like Game Pass would be beneficial for the company. They may end up losing money because they've tried that before and it didn't necessarily work. However, the formula that Xbox is doing, it seems that it's getting people to want to purchase their systems and get all of these free games. So jumping into it, so PlayStation is planning a new subscription service to compete with the rival Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. Now, the service is codenamed Spartacus. Will allow PlayStation owners to pay a monthly fee to access the catalog, modern classic games. Said that they're offering also this to be available for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, to pause right there, I love the fact that Sony is actually still dedicated to the PlayStation 4, and they're still allowing this system to live, and it's going to have a good life cycle even with the PlayStation 5. I'm seeing it's still going to be relevant even like 4 years later down the line. It may die out at like 6 years. But still, they're going to be helping people out that don't have the PlayStation 5, which I think is excellent. So expecting to launch in the spring. The service will merge Sony's two existing subscription plans, so the PlayStation Plus and the PlayStation Now. And now, currently, the PlayStation Plus is required for most online multiplayer games. So basically, you have to have the PlayStation Plus, which is still excellent because you're getting free games monthly, and you're gonna want to have that basically to play online, and you're gonna want to have it period because the amount of games that you get, it's worth the subscription for a year. It's like $60. And also, while PlayStation Now also allows users to download older games, right? So documents suggest that Sony plans to retain the PlayStation Plus branding, but phase out the PlayStation Now. So some of the details on the Spartacus, it's still not finalized, however. So keep in mind this is not finished yet. This is still in the early stages. So the first would include the existing PlayStation Plus benefits. So that's the first like tier, right? So the second tier would also offer a large category of PlayStation 4 and eventually PlayStation 5 games. Now, this is the one that I'm excited for, and I think people are going to get freaking pumped and excited for this, right? Everyone's been asking for it. Backwards compatibility, right? Everybody wants it. The third tier would actually extend demos and game streaming a library, the classics PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. Now, that is in itself a heavy hitter. That's a haymaker towards Xbox if you ever believed there was going to be one. That is going to be game changing. Now, you're looking at PlayStation having, in my opinion, now PlayStation has Game Pass. They have single player games. They can do the multiplayer games. What they're coming at throats at this point. It's like, what are you gonna do, Xbox, when they really roll up on you with this one and they're like, hey, I liked your idea. Let's transform this. Let's do this better. Or is this something that Sony feels is not going to work out? Does it eventually phase out? I think we were talking about this earlier, but does this eventually phase out like PlayStation Now? Do they continue this? But I'm pumped for it. I'm excited for that. Even though, I mean, I don't care for paying the amount of money for it, and I think people that play PlayStation, they don't mind paying it because the devs need to get reimbursed for that. So I don't know how necessarily the money is going to work for it, but I'm down for either way, man. I'm here for it. But what do you feel about it, Gio? I know you're passionate about it.
I think for sure it's going. I wouldn't say necessarily phase out PlayStation Now. I think it'll just be integrated somehow. I think the only thing that Sony won't do that Xbox is doing is having like brand new first party games like day and date release. I don't think they'll do that. They'll probably be like some type of delay on titles going from release date to onto a streaming service. So I think I'm excited for it. I think also that backwards compatibility, being able to play those classic games. We talk a lot as far as the preservation of games and how certain games you just can't access anymore, or they're impossible to access because there is no real ways to play them, and some consoles are just too expensive to rebuy. Like, have you seen how much a Sega Saturn costs? Like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Just to
so
play
I've
some
I've
old
definitely
games.
looked at all those games. Like
Yeah.
I still own some of my originals, and I never had a PlayStation 1, but I definitely am gonna look to get one just to have one for nostalgic purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back and paying those like ridiculous amounts, like yeah, that's That's something. But I mean, you're gonna see that though, man, with the way the gaming is going. Now, how does this gonna look though for, let's say, like VR and let's say for everything else? Like, what are they gonna support? But I mean, to be honest with you, when you're going back to PlayStation 1, I mean, you're talking Bully, you're talking about Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear, you're talking about Crash Bandicoots. I mean, some of these classics, some of these, like I remember playing what was it? Oh, it was a shooter. I can't remember it, but I know I played it on PlayStation, or maybe it was Dreamcast. But just being able to play some of those older games and giving the fans what they want, it shows that Sony is actually listening. It shows that they potentially had a game plan. They just didn't let you know all of their cards. Like, sometimes you got to remember it's a business, right? So if they give you all their cards, they're not going to give you anything to look forward to. Now, while it's in a down stage and you're waiting, hey, let me just drop this in your lap real quick. So hold that. We might be coming out with some more. Now people are excited even more in the holidays. And now they just turn the tide to be like, hey, instead of going and getting that Xbox, Series S that's still sitting in the cart, because nobody's buying it, let me go ahead and spend an extra $100 and get this digital form of PlayStation 5 if I can actually find one. So I think that this is going to be definitely something that people are going to want to grab. And even if you have a PlayStation 4, maybe they extend the tier to like $20 more. Games are what, 70? Maybe this drops it out for like what, $80. I wouldn't mind paying $100 a year for that. Like, give it to me for $100 a year. Take my money. Take my money. You're saying I can get free games? Take my money. $100, that's fine. And if devs still, or if certain games still want to charge the $70 for that because they're AAA games like Spider-Man, if Spider-Man wants to charge me $70, take my money. You want to charge me $100 for the deluxe, which I'm probably gonna get, take my money. I like, some of these games, they deserve for the money to be spent on them, because you
For
can
sure.
see the quality. You can see the quality in the gaming, in the games, and you can see the quality and the work into that. And I do not mind reimbursing them and paying somebody what they actually busted their tail to do.
Also, game development has gotten more and more expensive over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Skate Nerd
Jack
420 in
Dex.
the chat says Jack Daxter, Sly Cooper. For sure, those are games that I would love to replay. It seems you got a fan, Tokyo Sun. Tony707C in the chat says Tokyo Sun has a sexy voice. So glad I finally checked out the stream.
Yo, Tony, appreciate that.
You got a fan out here now.
Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. Definitely glad you popped in here. Appreciate that. Appreciate the
For
the
sure.
compliment.
Skate Nerd 420 also says I like Tokyo's points on this. For sure,
Yo,
definitely some.
appreciate it, Skate.
Yeah, definitely saw a lot of stuff I agreed with in what he was saying. But let's move on to the next topic. Maria Hill. For those of you who are not familiar with Maria Hill, she is basically Nick Fury's right-hand man, and she is coming back to the MCU. Now, Colby Smulders is set to appear in Secret Invasion series on Disney Plus. Variety has confirmed Smulders will reprise the role as S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill in the series, and she joins the cast that already includes Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Olivia Colman, and Emilia Clarke. And I was very excited to see Emilia Clarke in the cast because, she's very pretty and a great actress. So it's always awesome to see her and stuff. The role reunites Colby Smulders with Samuel L. Jackson as the two appeared together in a bunch of Marvel films like The Avengers, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and Endgame, and they were both in the film Spider-Man: Far From Home. Jackson will also replay the role as Nick Fury in the series, while Mendelsohn will play the Skrull Talos as he did in Captain Marvel, and it will follow the events of Captain Marvel with a faction of shape-shifting Skrulls who have been infiltrating Earth for years. So, those of you who are not aware, Secret Invasion is based off of the comic book arc, which is also named Secret Invasion, where Skrulls have been impersonating superheroes for years, and no one knows who is who. So I'm excited to watch this show. Colby Smulders as Maria Hill, it's always nice to see her in the role. Hopefully she is able to actually do things, because I think one of the things about Maria Hill, that one of the complaints about her MCU role is she's kind of just not to be like not to like diminish her as an actress or anything, because I think she plays the role well, but the way it's written, it's almost written as she's kind of just like a lackey to Samuel L. Jackson, and not really like the second in command of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think that's more on the writing than the actress. So hopefully they are able to expand her role and really give her character some more depth, a little bit more nuance, and at least more stuff to do in the Secret Invasion. What about you? Are you caught up on the Marvel movies?
I
Tokyo
am pretty much caught up on the Marvel movies. I saw Shang-Chi,
Okay.
and I've seen the Eternals. So
Okay.
I guess I'm pretty much caught up. I did try to watch the oh my goodness, I can't even remember. I'm gonna take that out of my memory. The one with oh my gosh, the Scarlet, I can't remember.
Black
I
Black
Widow.
Widow.
just it was Black Widow. Goodness gracious, the movie was bad to me. That's probably why I took it out of my my memory base.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Yeah, the movie was just bad to me. So like I fell asleep on it like twice trying to watch it. And
Interesting. I didn't think
yeah,
it
I
was
just didn't like it.
bad. I thought it was very by the numbers Marvel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's very like it was I thought it was a 7 out of 10 movie. Like it's like a popcorn flick that has a lot of faults. And I think I don't know, like how far did you get in Black Widow?
No, I finished it. I eventually finished it. I woke up
Okay.
and finished it.
You
Yeah.
know what?
Facts.
We'll talk about this more when we get to the Scarlett Johansson
Okay.
topic. But what do you think of Colby Smulders as Maria Hill?
I don't. I mean, I'm not sure if I mind this, to be honest with you. I'm not really familiar with the character. I mean, like you said, like she just shows up here and there. So I'm like, I'm interested to see this. But I mean, I don't really know much about the character. So I mean, this is something that's going to be with fresh eyes, and it's like, all right, I'm going to give this a chance, kind of like I did with Black Widow. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the Black Widow, but I mean, I'm still going to give it a chance, and I'm not going to knock it before I try it. Let's say that. So
Okay.
I mean, I'm kind of pumped for it. I mean, it's Marvel, so I mean, I trust them. But sometimes, I mean, they can drop the ball, and this is one of those where it's like, all right, I could watch it, or I mean, it's one that I'll probably binge. And I mean, I still have to finish Loki. Don't judge me, but I still
Oh
have to
wow,
finish
yeah,
Loki.
yeah. No, Loki's
Yeah,
definitely a worth the finish.
yeah. Don't judge me. I still have it, and me and my son were watching it. I'm just waiting to finish it. I have so many like shows that I have to finish, and then he wants to watch. I believe it's Hawkeye. Yeah, he wants to watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna catch up with these though. But yeah, I'm a fan of Marvel for sure.
For sure. Well, I mean, like I said, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think that's one of the cool things Marvel does is like maybe side characters that don't play a big role, they come back and have like even if it's not a huge role, it's slightly more expanded. I think you watch WandaVision, right?
No, I couldn't get past the first episode, but apparently it's something that I have to go back and watch as well.
Yeah, no, it's
Thought
it,
so.
it's definitely a slow burn.
Mhm.
The first 2 episodes,
Yeah.
maybe for you will be kind of like, all right, what am I watching here? But the thread slowly starts to unravel, and you're like, oh, okay.
Right. Right.
Like there's a point to where you are, okay, this is what I'm here for.
Right.
Yeah.
Generally with like movies and with like because I watch a ton of movies and I watch a lot of series. Like
Uh-huh.
when it starts off that slow, it's hard for me to like continue. It's like, all right, I got to get past this. Like I'd rather just skip the episodes.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like it's that slow. Like kind of like, all right, wheel me into it. Like don't just start off with that. And that's just it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Just don't start off with it being in black and white and being this slow and I got to get through it just because I'm not that attached to your character. Like I'm not that attached to her. Neither of the characters. Like I'm it's not one of those where I'm dying to see a movie or I'm dying to see the TV series about it. So
I,
kind of
I
draw me in.
I think by the end of it, you would be at least somewhat. You will be more attached to both the characters, and then it does lead to future implications that I think you will appreciate knowing and watching.
Right.
So I would
But
say, like the first couple episodes, like you said, you'll have that very like kind of dredging through it, but
right.
I would
Well, I'm
say,
hoping that this one won't be that. That's what
yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this will not be a repeat of that. Like, draw me in. Like, all right, if you got to pull Samuel L. out, like that's fine. Pull him out.
I think
Episodes
this
and pull him out.
will not be like that. I think even just by concept alone, like it will be something more that you're looking for. With it kicks off with more of a bang than like a slow burn.
Right. Which slow burns are good. I mean, they're good. They're good to go back and watch. But I mean, apparently, I need to watch these because I think they key into like certain things that are happening in the Marvel universe. Is that correct?
Yeah,
With WandaVision and also with Loki as well.
definitely Loki
Okay.
will for sure play a big role.
And I heard
All right.
Loki, like some people were going back and actually looking at like WandaVision. They had to go back because there were some certain things there after watching Loki. But
Loki definitely has the biggest implications for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
All right, let's move on. So tell me about what Amazon is doing for holiday presents for all of its Prime members in this month.
Oh yeah, so Amazon Prime members are getting 9 free games or 8 free games, whichever. So during the entire month of December, Amazon is giving away 9 free, tons of free loot in Amazon Prime members. But still, don't worry if you're not a member. Believe it or not, and this is not an ad, but still, believe it or not, you can still go and get the goods, right? So you can sign up for a free 30-day Prime trial, and you can take advantage of this free offer, but it will charge you. But it will charge you monthly if you don't cancel, right? So you got to put in your information. You got to dedicate to it. A lot of people, they still may have their Prime or people may use it. They may not be aware that you're actually getting free games. So, I mean, this is something that I think that people should definitely take advantage of. I think right now they're giving away a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And these are for actually, let me get into it some more as well. So in total, there are 9 free games. So Criterion Games, 2010 Racing, so Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, Apocalyptic Surviving Game, Frostpunk, a colorful outer space adventure, a Journey to the Savage Planet, a stylish co-op puzzle game, Mork Red, Spellcaster University as well, and also with the lineup along with YouTuber's Life, you got Stubbs the Zombie, Football Manager 2021, Tales of a Monkey Island. Now, a lot of the people are probably like, yeah, what the heck are these games? Only thing that I know is probably Need for Speed. Well, you're not wrong. I'm right there with you, but they're free. And you can't beat free, right? So, I mean, I would definitely take advantage of that. For sure, if you didn't know, now you know. But I mean, this is available for the tablets, the Google Chromecast, the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One. I mean, Android, you name it, you can go and grab this. Just you got to be a Amazon Prime member, and you can't beat that, man. You can't beat free. It's almost like rivaling PlayStation Plus with its monthly free games. Like, of course, you don't have to keep it; just download it, and you have it. So I would definitely take advantage of that. Download the Amazon Games app. Games can be played on all those games. So yeah, definitely check it out. How do you feel about that though, Gio? Are you a Prime member? Are you gonna go and
Prime member,
sign up for
and
that? You are a Prime member?
I wasn't aware that they did this. I remember before the show you were kind of mentioning that this isn't the only month that they do it. Apparently, there are other times where they do this as well. I just because I haven't been paying attention. And like you said, regardless of the lineup of the games, I mean they're free. I mean, check it out. There's definitely stuff here that I've heard of, like of course Need for Speed. I've heard of Journey to the Savage Planet, and then I have heard of Tales of Monkey Island, which for me is probably like the biggest draw for me because Tales of Monkey Island is one of those old LucasArts games, written by Tim Schafer, who now heads Double Fine Studios, and he created the Psychonauts series, which is the first game is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm actually currently playing through the second one. So to go back and see his old games, because he's mostly known for his humor, and even though like the old school adventure games may not be the type of game for everyone, I definitely do appreciate the writing and the humor in those games, and it would kind of be neat to see like the retro nostalgia of going back to those older games. So I'm excited for this. YouTuber's Life? What the hell is that? Okay.
I think I've heard or seen this game before. So like, if I'm not mistaken, like you go through and you like rank up or you have to buy certain things. If I'm thinking about the same game, actually I need to click and figure it out. But I saw something like that where you're going through the life and you're reenacting basically all of that and you're trying to become this YouTube star. I could be wrong, but give me a
Trying to get
second.
on that like list of like YouTube millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. So like you could just rank up in whichever, and you got to go through basically everything that it's going to take to be a popular YouTuber and go through it and stuff like that. So I think this was a game that came out a little while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen something on it. It was actually interesting. I mean, I think I don't know if it's on mobile, but I mean, it's something that you can just do in your spare time, not even think about it. It's kind of like The Sims and just
Yeah.
come back, pick it up. It's free, so I mean, why not?
It's very interesting to me because also you could play this game or you could actually like dedicate to actually making a YouTube and
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
actually
Or you
make
can
it.
trial and run. You can be like,
You
"Hey, man, I
could
really
try
need
real life. Yeah.
adaptation. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this necessarily. I thought I did, but maybe I don't."
Yeah.
But either way, man, of course they're highlighting it with Need for Speed. Can't
Yeah.
beat that. I mean,
Especially
Gran Turismo.
Criterion because Criterion did
Yeah.
the Burnout games and I love the Burnout games. Those are really fun games to play.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely. Hmm. Alrighty, let's keep going, and we go. Oh, I have. It seems like I have two MCU stories back to back to back. So this next one has to deal with Scarlett Johansson, and apparently, Scarlett Johansson is working on a top secret Marvel Cinematic Universe project, and the thing about that is very surprising considering that she had the lawsuit with Disney earlier in the year, basically saying that hey, you screwed me out of some money because you put the movie out on streaming, and that affected ticket sales, which also affected how much money I was making. They eventually did reach a deal. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. But after playing Natasha Romanoff for 11 years in the MCU, it seemed you know because of that and the lawsuit, you would think that oh no, like she's no longer going to be a part of the MCU and have anything to do with Marvel. And even though they finally gave her her own movie, there is that those talks with Kevin Feige basically saying that he has Scarlett Johansson on a secret project with her being a producer or even an executive producer on the program. So what could it be? Could it be another Black Widow movie? Are we going to see in the movie her sister Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, carry the torch? Are we going to possibly see the A Force? Which, if you are familiar with the comics, the A Force is the all women led Avengers team. Who knows what it could be? And I know, you know, we were talking about this earlier, but you were not that happy with the Black Widow movie, which
Yeah.
you know, for me, I definitely have some gripes with that film, particularly with one of the villains and the kind of the twist, which I thought was really dumb, and it still annoys me to this day. But you know, they definitely, regardless how you feel about the movie, they definitely set up for a sequel or a continuation or just an open-ended ending where certain characters you don't know where they are, and the Disney frames it in a way to where it's like maybe there's more story to tell there, maybe there's not. But I don't know. What do you think this new Scarlett Johansson produced project could be?
I mean, I think it could definitely like highlight some of her family as well.
Yeah.
I think it could definitely do that. I mean, or base around her more. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really too much of it after the movie. The movie kind of let me down in the cinematic series. Like I wasn't like I wasn't that attached to her character. So I mean, they're trying to get people attached to her. In my opinion, I'm like, give me Punisher. And that's where I'm at with it. But I mean, I still like her though, and I mean, she looks good. So I mean, and she looks good, you know, whooping butt. So I like her. I like her character, and I think I want more. I guess I want more. I want a better villain. I would say Taskmaster was pretty good, but I want more. Like I want more of a villain to make her really stand out. Like give me that challenging foe that actually pushes her to the limits, and let's see that side of her and you know make her shine more.
Yeah.
Not necessarily get drowned out by other people. Like, let's see her shine.
I mean, that's really the what's the word I'm looking for? That is the Achilles heel to the MCU,
Mhm.
where it's always the villain, where the villain always feels like it's just a mirrored version of the hero, or if there is a good villain that they end up like killing him off, like okay, I think they had to kill off Thanos
Oh, yeah.
at the end of Endgame, like he had to die, but you have characters like Killmonger who were great villains, amazing villain. But they ended up having to kill him off, so now you're constantly stuck looking for new villains.
But he could not be dead though. They could bring him back still. It's the
Maybe.
universe.
I mean, yeah,
We see this happen all the time in comics. They can bring him
it's
back.
true. Comics always got some like weird
They can bring it back. And
like
at this point,
everyone always comes back except for Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben
they
stays
could
dead.
actually use Uncle Ben's dead. Yeah. And maybe in an alternate universe. I don't know. Something else, but something else could happen. But I think they could actually in RIP to him, but I mean they could actually bring him back and Killmonger could be the Black Panther. Like
Like
he could
inherit the
actually
role.
take that. Yeah, he could inherit the role. I think
Yeah.
that he has done that in the comics as well. So I think that that's something that I think they should look forward to maybe happening in 3, or maybe they just redo it. Maybe he comes in 3 and he's alive again, or they cameo in the end of 2 and he comes back in 3. But we'll see. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see. All right, now let's get to our final story, which is the return. Well, the actual return
Let's
of
go.
Demon Slayer. The actual return of Demon Slayer. So take it away, Tokyo-san.
Yes, I am hyped. I am hyped for Demon Slayer. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think that this was actually going to be something when I first initially watched it. Okay, so when I first initially watched Demon Slayer, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Apparently, it's pretty mainstream, and but it's pretty good. And then I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm a fan now. So of course, so with Demon Slayer Entertainment, District Arc. It's set to premiere on Crunchyroll and Funimation December the 5th, right? So we're on the 4th, December the 5th. This actual new episode is supposed to be coming out. And it's ahead of its release. So basically it's on chapter 70 of the highly popular manga series, and it will act as the second half of the second season of Demon Slayer. All right, so taking place from the chapters 70 through 99, the Entertainment District arc set Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu meet up with Tengen as they search for the missing wives who are investigating rumors of demons. So season 2 begins with the 7 episodes version of the Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train. So basically, they broke up the movie, I'm gonna pause there because and this was originally released last year in Japan also. So this is I feel is a good and necessary thing to do because not everyone most likely has seen the movie. But I'm kind of torn with it because I kind of was like, all right, you guys are pushing this movie, but I mean they're making sure that everyone knows that this is actually a part of the series. This is actually important. So a lot of people don't watch the movies. Like I don't watch a lot
I
of
disagree, man. I disagree.
Yeah.
I think everyone watched the movie because if you look at those sales numbers in Japan,
Oh yeah.
yo, that was one of the like in history the probably the top watched movie in Japan. I think everyone in Japan has seen the Demon Slayer movie.
I think I'm speaking for like people like in America, people in America that may not have been hip to the series. Some people that just rarely watch like what I'm saying, anime. They may skip movies, and they may just jump into it, and they may not watch the movie, but they may want to binge watch everything. And so because they're fitting it into the series, when they finally catch up and they binge like let's say season 1 and then all the season 2, like now they catch the movie and they didn't even know they were catching it, and they've binged, and now they're all the way caught up. Like
I guess in that sense, if you are like you're saying, like if you are someone who is late to the party and you know the movies aren't available for streaming, but then you have you have basically the same the same content there that you could just start and just watch that. I guess for people like that, it would make sense. But here's the thing, Tokyo-san.
What's that?
I'm selfish and I don't care about other people. I only care about me. So I was like annoyed with this very much. I was like, I don't care about everyone else. I want new stuff now. But also, like, also I think also you have to think that this is probably just kind of a way for the animators to really kind of get, I wouldn't say like
break.
Take it easier, take a break, but it probably is easier for them to take the movie and edit it and do whatever they have to do to stretch it out to 7 episodes than having to come up with a whole new arc. And I think also there is that, like you said, it's a business. They want to stretch this out as much as they can because Demon Slayer, the manga, is actually already done. The story is told. It's finished. Like, it's ended and everything in the manga. So they probably want to keep this going because Demon Slayer, like, it's
that's sad.
The numbers in Japan came out, and Demon Slayer was the number 1 selling manga by volume in Japan by a long shot. Like, it was number 1, and that story is done. So people in Japan obsess over that series.
Oh yeah, and I mean, for rightfully so. I mean, the thing is amazing. The story is by far is captivating. And I mean, the manga's done, but if the sales are already showing that, I mean, hopefully, and I don't read the manga, so
yeah,
I'm on a sense of I'm not reading the manga, I'm just watching the anime.
Yeah.
And right now, the story is so captivating. The art style is beautiful. And I'm completely enamored with everything on this series. So
I think Demon Slayer story wise, it doesn't do anything super innovative or new, but I think it's very much the definition of you take something that is a basic shonen plot and you execute it to like perfection. Like it's the execution that is done very, very well. Even though, like, I would agree with you, the first couple episodes are a bit of like, okay, what's so special about this? Like, it's not bad, but also, even in Japan, like, it didn't really pick up steam until the anime's 7th episode or 9th episode. That, like, it started, like, picking up steam to where they saw clips of, like, some of the fights and, like, oh, I need to watch this.
Right.
And exactly, that kind of led to the explosion in popularity.
Exactly. I think for me, it was more or less when he started getting into the training aspect of it, when he started finishing, and then to, I guess the in the sense the tuning exam, right? So like he went through the trials and going through that. I can't remember the exact name right now, but
I think for me, the point where I was like, okay, like this is really good, was when you first see like his water breathing techniques.
Yeah.
And you see that for the first time, and the animation is like, yo, like what is this? This is cool as fuck. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Have you played the game?
No, but I heard it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it looks really solid, but I wanted to buy it, but then like 3 other games came out, and I was like, you know what?
I think you're better off waiting because those anime games, dog, they always drop to like $20.
Oh,
so you just pick it up then.
It's something that I'll play in the summer. I missed the window for actually playing. It's probably one that I'll just play and I'll play it off stream.
Just pick it up, $20, and like the summer, all the DLC characters will be there, right. And then
So you're not gonna watch the show. You said you're gonna binge it, right?
I'm gonna wait probably a few weeks, maybe because I get in 2 weeks I get 2 weeks off work. Mm-hmm. So then I'll probably use that time to watch the first couple episodes.
I cannot believe that you can wait after already missing like 7 episodes. Like,
well, I have so many other things to read and watch and play. So it's I don't have, for lack of a better term, I have an abundance of stuff. So right. something. There will always be something to occupy me.
So where are you wanting this? Now, have you read the manga?
So I have not. This is one of the rare occasions where I've decided to be anime only. I'm very much the type of person that I'll binge an anime, and then I'll read 150 chapters of the manga after like where it stops because I need to know what happens. But I've decided with Demon Slayer, I'm just gonna watch the I'm gonna watch the anime because the art in the manga is not really the best.
Okay,
It's
I got you.
yeah, definitely the anime is definitely the better
Bring it
version
to
of the two.
life.
Yeah. All right, so that does it for our subtopics. Now we will move on to our main topics, and I don't know what are we starting with. What do we want to start with, Mikey? What do you want to? What should we put up first?
Let's go with Spider-Man.
Do you want Spider-Man first? All right, let's talk about Spider-Man. So, as those of you, all of you out there, may know that Spider-Man, No Way Home, is coming out on December 17th. And this past Monday, which was dubbed by Marvel Spider Monday, was the first day No Way Home tickets were on sale, and it got like people were buying these tickets because it crashed a bunch of ticket websites. I remember Mikey was telling me he was trying to buy tickets, and Fandango was down, and so was the Regal app, where usually I buy tickets for movie theaters. So it was very much a big deal. Now, if those of you in chat, just let me know if were you all able to get tickets. Let us know. Were you able to get tickets for Spider-Man? Were you able to get for opening day? Maybe for the first weekend, or maybe do you have to wait a little bit longer until you get to go see the latest or the end of the Homecoming trilogy? I think first things first, I do want to mention this is ticket scalping for a movie is quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's theater specific. Like you know, I live in a town that's not a big city. It's not a small town. It's like a medium sized like city, and I don't think anyone in the city is going to pay $1,000 for a ticket to see Spider-Man, as some of these scalping prices are. And plus, you can always just either go to another theater or just wait a day. It's by far one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. As well as I don't know. Also, the pre-sales were apparently as high as Endgame. Was that surprising to you, Tokyo-san?
No, that's not surprising to me at all. Spider-Man is by far, Marvel's headliner.
Yeah.
That's like bringing the Beatles out. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not surprising that Spider-Man is doing the numbers that he's doing, and Tom Holland just is crushing it as a Spider-Man. I know people have their opinions about Spider-Man. Some people love, Toby. They love Toby Maguire as Spider-Man. They enjoy him so much, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Is it Andrew or I can't remember? Yeah, Andrew. So they enjoy him as being Spider-Man. They enjoy Toby as being Peter Parker. But for me, Tom Holland is like the mix of both. So doing the numbers, I had to make sure I grabbed my ticket. And I did because my son he's been talking about this movie for months. This man, my son knows the trailer front and back. He's watched it basically like every day, and he's begging. So I couldn't get it day one because I'm not doing it, but I'm still in there on Saturday.
Yeah.
12:30, and I am pumped for it. I'm watching it in Dolby. I was gonna do IMAX, but I don't like the way it sounds. But Dolby, I have to get the experience. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Dolby
I'm so
Atmos.
excited.
Dolby Atmos theaters, is that what they're called?
Dolby. So I'm going to AMC. So we have
Okay.
AMC out here. And so they have actually Dolby surround, like surround sound. Or you can do IMAX. It's actually in the theaters itself. So they have like theater 1 and theater 2, and both of them are great experiences. But I don't like the IMAX. I like the Dolby because it just sounds so much better and feel the action.
I've heard those Dolby like the sound on those theaters is like amazing. It's like
It's so good. It's so good. And it really grabs you. This is probably Spider-Man's probably one that I'll probably go to theaters to see it twice. Like,
yeah.
and I rarely do that, but I'm hoping they don't drop the ball. But they got Doctor Strange in there. And they have some other cameos. Like you said before, what's the skepticism about is Toby going to be in there? Is Andrew going to be in there?
Yeah. Definitely, everyone wants to know. That's the big question. And it's funny that you mentioned that, like, Spider-Man being the headliner for Marvel, because that is true. And when you think about the Avengers, honestly, before the MCU, unless you were really a hardcore like comic book reader, no one really cared about Iron Man. No one really cared about Thor or even Captain America, right? Those characters were not really the big deal that they are now. And in fact, you would say that the headliners for Marvel were Spider-Man and the X-Men. The X-Men, they were that was the headlining team for
Exactly.
Marvel before, and because of the deals with Fox, they really couldn't take advantage of it. But you know the fact that Spider-Man is able by himself able to create so much hype, it really does show you that he is the top tier, the number one Marvel hero. So,
Oh yeah.
also speaking of Spider-Man, Tom Holland, he has gone on to say this is the most ambitious of any other MCU movie. You think that's true, or is it just PR speak?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, he's got to be kind of silent about what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he's got to keep it close to the vest. But he has to give us a little something, right? So they give him a little bit of something, rise the ticket sales, and not say too much because the movie's going to speak for itself. I think that it is going to be something that's going to introduce a lot of things. I think he even touched upon saying, and forgive me if I misquoted, but saying basically he would love to see Miles Morales. Now, does this movie introduce an option because it's going through multiverses? Does this introduce the option of Miles actually being a character, or do they go through the next three movies with Tom Holland and they introduce him during that time in those next ones? Maybe he doesn't get cameoed in this one at the end of the credits, but maybe on the next Spider-Man movie, the third and stuff. Or no, this is the third one.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
let's pick up on that point about the new trilogy, because it was basically confirmed by Sony producer Amy Pascal that they are going to bring back Tom Holland for three new movies. I can't remember if it was confirmed being MCU or if it's going to be in that Sonyverse. Mikey, do you know?
Uh, it's not confirmed yet, but there is going to be a trilogy said by
Okay,
Sony CEO or executive Amy Pascal.
and it's MCU trilogy.
That we don't know, but all we know
Okay.
is that Tom Holland is attached.
and
Because I
that's
think
the problem.
I think one of the for not it's really not an issue for me. I don't think it's an issue for me, but a lot of people complain about how they feel like Peter Parker Spider Man in the MCU is basically an Iron Man Jr. And I think that's kind of, well, for me it doesn't really those criticisms doesn't really like, I don't think they're, I don't want to say they're not valid, but they don't bother me for the fact that if you think about in universe, like Tony Stark is probably the biggest name in that world. So the fact that Peter Parker was a Stark like fanboy, and how Stark really ties into a lot of Peter Parker's life and his legacy and what he does as Spider-Man, it doesn't bother me. But what I'm thinking is they could use this new trilogy of movies to really separate him from Tony Stark and have his own kind of adventures and see his identity being separated from Tony Stark. So it doesn't bother me because he's still basically a high schooler. So it would be interesting to see him as a college student in this new trilogy or as an adult. And you know,
Right.
what do you think a new trilogy could go?
And I think that that's a big portion of it. I think that that's actually good, but it scares me when it still needs to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that it needs to be there. Like what they're doing now, do not mess it up. Do not go back. Do not change anything really. Like this is where people love it. Like you've tested it already. You've tested it with 6 other movies or
Yeah,
however many movies. You've tested the formula. It did not, this formula worked. Keep this formula going. Introduce other bad guys. Spider-Man has so many villains that this could keep going, and them going into another 3 trilogy, like
Yeah.
that's epic to me, because they're gonna get Peter Parker as an adult, and about the time when he's done, maybe, and I'm sorry that I'm such a fanboy of Miles, because I love that character, because based off of, he does everything Spider-Man does, but he has also the powers of going invisible, and he has the shock, and he's just amazing. Maybe then we go and we see Tom or Spider-Man start to coach a new Spider-Man, and that is a perfect exit to a one of the best Spider-Mans that we'll probably ever see in a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
See, I
And
think
then
for me though, I don't think I personally, it's not that I'm against it, but I don't think we'll see Miles Morales in the MCU at least anytime soon, for the simple fact that he has to go through Sony in order to get the rights to that character, which normally I don't think that would be a big deal, but because Spider-Verse was such a big success, I could see Sony saying like, no, like we want Miles for the Spider-Verse series. He's ours. Like we let y'all have Peter Parker, but we're doing such good things with Miles as the main character of the Spider-Verse animated movies. We don't want to confuse the audience. I can see kind of that rationale coming out from on Sony's end, even though it doesn't really make sense to us, but through the brain of a studio executive, I can see them kind of trying to pull a move like that, which it would be awesome to have Miles in the MCU, but also if he was in the MCU from the jump, would we have gotten Spider Verse? Like I don't know, because Spider Verse was honestly it's my favorite superhero movie. It's an
yeah,
amazing movie, so I wouldn't necessarily mind having Miles just have his own thing as in the Spider Verse universe, and then maybe eventually down the line, when Tom Holland is older, maybe you know this trilogy of movies is going to take another 10 years. Then maybe we can bring in Miles, but I don't see Miles coming in anytime soon.
right. That's what I'm saying. I don't see him coming anytime soon. I think they already confirmed as well that they're going to be doing another Spider-Verse 2 as well. But that's the thing. I don't necessarily think that he needs to come in now, but I really think by the second movie of the new trilogy, I think that that's when they introduce it, because that is enough time and that's enough of a gap. I think that that would be prevalent to making the series actually continue, and maybe have some cameos of or some guest interests of Spider-Man in his movie. Maybe Tom Holland still is in there, but it's kind of like the game, right? He's there for a little bit and then he leaves, and it's Miles' movie, right? It's just introduction. I think that, and he said that he would love to see a Miles movie. I think that that is something that they would have to let go of and bring it in, because nobody's going to really want to watch another Spider-Man after Tom is done.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to see another Spider-Man because he's already stamped it. That's like Iron Man. That's like somebody going back and trying to redo Iron Man. It's not going to happen. You have to give it like 20 years. You're going to have another breed of kids out here and then redo the movie because it's so old at that point.
I just had
That
the morbid idea of what if they did bring Miles, but it was in like the Sony Venom verse. That'd be horrible.
that'd be bad.
I
That'd
think
be
I
real
think
bad. It has to be in the Marvel.
no
It
one
would have to
likes
be in the MCU.
that.
Yeah, no, it would have to be in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's needed.
it's honestly the sad thing is that we are really at the mercy of the executives and what they decide to do with the character, and it's kind of like, oh god, because I think I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for you as well, that I would have loved to see Venom in the MCU somehow, right? But now that the Venom separate movie was kind of a success, I think Sony now thinks that they have something going with it, and we won't get Venom in the MCU, which is
I
kind of
think
a bummer.
I think the second one was kind of a flop. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't think it did
Well,
as well as the first. I don't
uh,
know. I don't think it did as well as the first
well, it did
part.
come out during COVID, so they
Yeah.
maybe if they use that to excuse it, but
A lot of people didn't like it though, but I mean, I heard rumors that Venom will be in the MCU. Like, I think that that is necessary. You cannot go and not have Tom Holland fight Venom or Carnage. You cannot do that. that will wreck everything. I don't care if they bring the same actor in, bring him, and then maybe they'll change what Venom actually looks like in their universe. Maybe they'll spice him up a little more. But I mean, Venom is a key piece in Spider-Man, and yes, he's gonna need to fight him. Everybody is gonna want to see that. That's probably why they're doing another trilogy, because
Yeah.
they have to introduce Venom. You can't do Spider-Man and not have Venom, and they're probably gonna want a black suit Spider-Man. Oh, I mean, maybe they won't because he has a suit that's black in
He
this
already
next
does, yeah.
movie, but. Yeah, but maybe he gets the symbiote, but maybe they don't do Venom, but maybe they bring in Carnage. Either one would be fine.
I do want to see Venom and Carnage in MCU, but honestly, I would be more excited to see Black Cat because Black Cat has never
Ooh, yes.
been in the
Ooh.
movies, and I'm like, oh, they didn't bring in Black Cat, that Felicia Harding. Yeah, let's do that. Like,
what about Morpheus though? What about Morpheus?
oh, wait,
Or
Morpheus?
Morbius. I said not Morpheus. Not Morpheus. That's not
Michael
Matrix.
Morbius. I don't know. We
Morbius.
gotta see how that movie plays out because they do have references to other MCUs, and then in the first trailer you have Michael Keaton in there. You know, the Vulture. So how does that play? Like, you know, we gotta see kind of how those movies that first movie plays out, and we'll see. I mean, honestly,
So
like I think
you have Craven.
Craven. That's the other one I was about to bring up. Like Craven the Hunter. Like that's the other big Spider-Man villain I can think of. Because to be honest, I think a lot of Spider-Man villains, like he has a good solid couple villains that are pretty good, but to me, I think a lot of them like don't really translate well if you just kind of one for one from the comics. Like I think they did a really good job with the Vulture because for me the Vulture was such a corny villain in the comics and even in the cartoon. This is an old man who can fly. Just shoot him down, you know. But they did really well with him in the MCU. I think Mysterio. Another thing, I think the MCU has had. They have been able to take Spider-Man villains and adapt them to an actual. They've been able to adapt them into like real believable and cool ways that make their character. They don't change the character too much, but also kind of take away some of the goofiness of them and make them work really well. And I think that's been the strength, or at least one of the strengths of the Spider-Man movies, because I think while the rest of the MCU has problems with its villains, the Spider-Man movies do not, because I think both Mysterio and the Vulture were great villains.
I agree. I definitely like the take they had with the Vulture. The movie was okay to me. It was still good. It was still great. I still liked it. Mysterio was like that was one that I have been craving for, and I'm happy that they actually delivered with that movie.
Oh, they did
that movie
really well with Mysterio, which gets me excited for what we're gonna do here with
exactly
Doc Ock, and you know, and also if you watch the trailer, like it doesn't really put Doc Ock in a very like he doesn't. I mean, the trailer could be misleading, but it doesn't seem like he's like the mega bad villain.
However, we'll be seeing the Insidious 6 though.
Yeah, we have Electro, not Electro. Yeah, Electro. We have Electro, Doc Ock, the Goblin, Sandman, the Lizard. Am I missing one? Maybe there's someone that they haven't.
Yeah, they haven't showed everyone.
They haven't shown yet, so
they haven't showed everyone.
We have 5. Yeah. We have 5 so far. So maybe the 6th one will be someone that that they'll be like the main bad of the series. So
yeah, exactly. I think that's what they're keeping to the vest.
Oh, what? Sorry. Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say spoilers for Venom 2. Remember the post credits where Eddie Brock?
Oh no! Don't say it! Don't say it! I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, never mind.
Are you gonna watch the Venom movie?
I am. I wanted to go to the theater and see it, but I didn't have a chance. I got busy.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's still in the theater and then my son wanted to watch Eternals, and so I took him to see that when I was gonna go see Venom. I was trying to go with my friend, and I was waiting on him, and then he didn't want to go, and it was just a mess, man. I haven't seen it, But I plan. Matter of fact, I might when we get off of here, I might just actually go see it. To be honest,
I wonder if it is still playing. I don't think it is, but it'll probably hit streaming services like soon.
it's still in our theater.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's still in our theater. I can go. Like
Oh,
seven. No, yeah, it's like 6. 6. And I'm gonna go see it at like 6 o'clock.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts on Spider-Man before we move on to the next topic?
No, I think we hit that one on the head. That was pretty solid.
All right, for sure. All right, next topic. We are going to talk about the Cowboy Bebop. Well, pretty much the Cowboy Bebop universe. As the three of us have each had kind of a different like point of the anime, the live action, and where we are. Where I have seen the live action, but it's been years since I've watched the anime. Tokyo-san, you are almost caught up to the end of the
Yes.
of the anime, but you have not seen the live action. And then Mikey has seen both, so we kind of see where we're going. Like the three of us have different points of references. So I'm going to assume that this is going to be very spoiler free. For those of you who haven't seen either the anime or the live action, I mean, we'll probably try not. Well, the anime not so much, but the live action definitely will keep it spoiler free as far as the kind of what the show is. So first of all, overall thoughts for well, I guess I'll start with you, Mikey, since you've seen the live action. Overall thoughts on the live action show?
All right, so like, yeah, if you're a fan of the anime and you've watched the anime recently and it's fresh in your head, I don't think you will enjoy the live action Netflix adaptation. But if it's been a while, like over 10 years since you've seen the anime and you forgot like most of the plot, like I have, I actually thought it was kind of a little entertaining. But there were very, very terrible parts that were just so bad, like badly written. And then I'm rewatching the anime now after watching the live action adaptation, and then it's making me appreciate Cowboy Bebop so much more because the way the anime does it, uh, all those moments in the anime feels earned, whereas in the live action feel forced. And so with that said, I would give it like a solid 5.5 out of 10, or maybe 6 out of 10, and that's me being generous.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, I'd give it like
man.
I'd give it like a 4.5. To be honest, I think what Mike says, the writing, it is very contrived. It's very corny. It's really bad. There is one line, and it's not really a spoilers, but basically Jet is talking to a character, and the character is basically withholding information, but wants him to do something for them, in exchange. And Jet goes, "Is this blackmail?" And the character goes, "Well, you are black and you are a male." And I was just like,
Ooh.
"What is this writing?
Ooh.
Oh my god, this is bad."
Ooh,
Yeah, it's really bad writing. I think the characterizations of Spike and Jet, even though they've changed the characters up a little bit, I think for me that's the highlight of the show. Their dynamic. I think they do have a good dynamic between John Cho and oh god, what's his name? The actor that plays Jet, Moose. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. It is Mustafa Shakir. I think they do a pretty good at having. They have good chemistry. I'm saying between those two, the two of the three leads. I do not really care for the portrayal of Faye. I think they fundamentally changed that character and make her. I think I read a review where they called her a quippy girl boss, and I got to agree. To where it's just a little cringeworthy on Faye. They make her go from kind of this like con artist, slightly shifty, very like kind of like take no shit character to this like try hard. I'm really not a fan of Faith's portrayal in the live action.
Wow.
I think also I think even though if you haven't seen the live action, just know that it is a different story. Like the bones are the same, but there it is a different story from the anime and kind of
Wow.
what they're trying to do and what they're trying to tell. It does diverge a lot, and although they do a lot of references and homages to the anime, I think you're better off thinking of it as a definitely a parallel universe to where things are different. Like, yeah, that's Spike Spiegel and it kind of looks like him, and that's Jet Black and that's Faye Valentine, but these are not essentially the characters that you know. This is not the universe that you know. You just kind of got some of the same like groundwork there, but the tone of the show also for me was very off to where there is like Spike, like not Spike, but like the anime, and you can speak to this, Tokyo Sun, with the ambiance and the music. It is very lonely and almost existential. And there's moments of nuances to where there's not a lot happening, but you can really feel what's going on with these characters and their lives and their past and their issues. And to where in like I think Mikey said it best, those moments are not earned in the live action. They are very much forced.
Wow. So that's just hearing all of this about the live action really is scaring. Like I really like I'm rewatching it because I mean the series is old, so I really didn't remember it. So I wanted to have a fresh memory before I watch it. I'm still gonna watch the live action because it
Yeah.
is what it is. I want to watch it. I want to see how they adapted to it or how they created everything. But yeah, the music is very touching. Like the episode that I had just finished. I think that we were talking about earlier as well. I got to pull up the name of it actually because I don't forgot what the episode name was, but yeah, basically the music when I think Grin was in that episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like with Vicious and everything. I was blown back and I was like, man, I forgot how good this series is in actual anime. Like I really forgot, and I'm hoping and while I was watching, I was like, man, I hope that the live action actually is kind of like this, and they don't pull what they did with Kenshin in that live action movie, basically.
Oh, you didn't like the Kenshin live action movies?
I didn't like the first one was dope because it was off of Samurai X.
Yeah.
The second one was not good at all to me because they skipped some of the main fights that key
Okay.
in that series. Like they
Fair.
skipped everything, and I'm like, what am I watching? And she shows like not around. Like I'm like, all right, man, I'm done. But that I don't want to take away from Bebop. But yeah, it was just I'm like hoping that it doesn't wreck. You know what I'm saying with the live action. And so what I'm hearing you guys drop it, give it 4.5s and 5.5. I'm sad about it, but I
Yeah.
mean at the same time I'm still gonna watch it.
I mean, these
And
are just
I'll just
like
this one.
this is just kind of our opinions. There are people out there that have really enjoyed the series,
Yeah.
and I don't know, whether or not they. I think also it really just depends on how you feel about the original. Because I would say that watching people who have watched the original, if this was just think of like if the anime never existed and you just watch this as a standalone, you have no
Right.
frame of reference from the original. Like, what would your opinion be on this? And you could say, okay, it has some corny writing, but overall, I like the concept. I like the stuff. What's going on here. I like how it's portrayed, and they do positively. Like let's talk about some positives. I think, for one, like I said, the two leads, Jet and Spike, I think they have good chemistry. I think a lot of the bad things about what their portrayal is has to do more with the writing. John Cho, I think I wouldn't say he nailed Spike Spiegel, but I think he does a pretty decent enough job to where it's like, okay, like I buy this. Like I'm
Wait,
not like
how does he fight? Does he fight good? Does he fight good?
It's not like super like well done, but
I thought the fight
it's just
choreography was decent.
it's pretty okay, like decent fight choreography.
Okay.
But it's not like don't expect like
Don't expect, well, no, I
when
don't
you
expect what
imagine
they're doing in there. Yeah.
when you watch the anime and then you imagine like, oh, what would this look like in live action? It's not gonna look like that. It's got pretty typical fight choreography.
Okay.
I think he does pretty well though.
And
Like I would say
the
he's
gunplay is pretty
solid.
good.
Yeah.
Like, and the fly.
I
How are the flying scenes? I'm sorry. How are the flying scenes?
oh like you don't really get a lot to be
Really?
honest. There is if I can remember, there is a couple. There's one scene. There's one episode in particular where the CG of the Bebop looked pretty bad,
Oh wow.
and I was like, "Yo, that's clearly CG. That's so bad."
Yeah, like the whole aesthetic of the show, like you could tell it's high production, but also at the same time, it looks cheap. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Okay.
There's an episode, Mikey, and it's like the where the whole scene is very, or the whole episode is very noir. I mean, I know the whole show is supposed to be, but this one in particular. You know what episode I'm talking about?
Yeah, with the Jet's flashback.
Yeah. With
I
his
thought that was
kind
the
of
best
backstory.
episode of the series.
It
I
was,
mean, of the show.
it, I thought it was like the set looked very fake to me. And I know like the whole show kind of does, but that one in particular stood out to me as being very like fake looking. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, because they had like that old movie filter
Yeah,
on top of
exactly.
whatever they're already doing, so like probably look doubly fake.
Yes, exactly.
But and the crazy thing, back to the music, they brought the same composer back from the original show to compose new music for the live action.
Yeah.
And then,
Eh,
but compared to the anime, the way they used the music and also the way they told the story of Cowboy Bebop was so disjointed, and it felt well, it was out of order from how it was in the anime. Because like some episodes that happened in the middle were set up as the finale, and some episodes that happened near the end of the season in the anime were one of the first episodes of the live action, and it was kind of confusing. And then,
yeah.
yeah. So, what do you guys think about the look of the characters of Spike and Faye and Jet in the live action?
Uh,
I like
definitely.
the look.
I think the look was okay. I thought Spike pretty. I think John Cho's pretty good. Mustafa Shakir, I think he does pretty good. I just what's her name? Daniela Pineda. She does not look like Faye to me.
Really, I think
She's,
they pulled Faye off with her. It's just
I
her
don't.
writing and dialogue is just what's off.
I disagree. I don't. She doesn't look like Faye to me at all. Like it's not. That's it. I don't see it. It's just. I'm not
You're not
buying it.
getting the Faye vibes. Maybe because the jacket is on. Does she ever have it halfway off? And the shirt kind of tight.
Not really. Yeah, it's
I don't know.
definitely not.
I
It,
think that's what it is. It's the yellow. You need more yellow and more shoulders.
I think also her face is too round.
You think so?
I think so. Like
I don't know.
it's kind of more like.
I think she looks decent like for that. But I
I
think
mean,
I don't know. And I haven't
it's
seen
not.
the show, so I don't know if
It's
they go
not.
into like taking the jacket off or she's without it. Like I mean, that's what people. I mean, people are looking at Faye like.
Like
It's
I'm
not
sold on
horrible.
Faye, on her as Faye than John Cho as Spike, because like I finished the entire
Really,
season of the live action Netflix, and then I was like, I can't really see John Cho as Spike. That's just Harold.
I
Does he
think.
ever have a coat on? Does he ever put a coat on?
Oh yeah, and then like
Yeah, I think so.
his
He
costume
does.
looks
Okay,
so
that's
fake
all
out
I can
of
go off is
the
the
whole
costume
cast.
right now.
His costume looks what?
Like fake, like an actual costume rather than like wardrobe.
Oh, drug.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Let me give it up to the person I think nails it the most. Like I think by far the standout like actor of the whole series is for sure Ein. I think they nailed that perfectly. I want to give a shout out to the corgi for doing a good job,
Really?
for being as adorable as possible, and being by far the MVP of the show. Like shout out to Ein. Um, also
So,
like
what? Sorry.
Vicious was horrible.
Vicious
Oh
was
yeah.
horrible. Oh
Vicious
my
is
gosh,
horrible.
yo,
It is
Yeah, no.
by far
The,
the worst.
the
By
way they
far the worst.
portrayed,
you can't mess Vicious up. You
Oh
can't.
no, they ruined Vicious, man.
yeah, they ruined Vicious by giving him way too many lines and way too many scenes. Same with Julia. Like they ruined the mystique and the intrigue of Julia's character in Cowboy Bebop by pretty much giving her like motivations or her desires, and like they pretty much held her hand throughout the live action, whereas the anime was being subtle about it and like made you think and like connect the dots yourself. But the live action was like, yeah, so Julia feels this way and she wants to do this, and this is how she's gonna get it, and she describes it, and then but yeah,
It is yeah, it's pretty bad. I would okay, you know what?
It's tragic. That's so tragic.
You know what?
Oh my
I
gosh.
I would say that Julia's portrayal in the live action is to me like a worse version of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
Mm,
Like
mm.
I don't think Anne
it
Hathaway was that bad.
there's parts of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman's portrayal where I'm like that's really bad. But yeah, no, I was not happy with the live action. I mean, honestly, but I would say the most of that is due to the writing, and I think I also who told me. I think my friend Matt J was telling me that the writer it was either the writer or the showrunner said something along the lines that there was stuff in the original anime that had to be corrected, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
That's
Like
actually me that
really?
said that, but okay.
Who said that?
Me.
Was it you who told me that?
Yeah.
Oh, you know my memory's bad.
Anyways,
Anyway,
but yeah, no.
I think
One day you said like, "Oh, the show needs correcting or like stuff in the story." I was like, "No, it doesn't." Cowboy Bebop, as the anime, like all you have to do is just copy that, and you're golden. And but they didn't. They added their own ideas of like exposition and just pretty much holding your hand through the story.
yeah.
But even with that said, I would recommend it if you are a fan
you'd
of the
recommend it.
anime,
Okay.
because it would make you appreciate the anime that much more.
I think it's a
Nice.
well produced, high production. Like it doesn't look shoddy as for the most part. Writing is bad. The two leads I think they have good chemistry, and
Oh, in
I
the
think it's
episode of Ballad of Fallen Angels, I think they nailed that episode or like the tone of that story. And same with Pierrot Le Fou. Like they nailed
yeah
some parts of it.
yeah
Like
okay
parts of that they
yeah
get really, really right. But the
I
stuff that
think
they
they
get
did.
wrong is like catastrophic.
What was the first episode? Ballad of Fallen Angels. What episode was that?
It's where in the church where like you see that shot of them
Oh,
like aiming the guns at each
yeah.
other.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, yeah, okay.
That what episode that was did they do that early in
No,
the live action? That's like the
no.
last episode?
Yeah,
It's at the end. Yeah.
Oh, that's trash. That's trash. Wait, why? And then they make Vicious look
you know
You
they
will
do.
not
Yeah,
be happy with Vicious. Vicious
yeah.
is
did
by
they did
far
they
the worst.
This is
did they
probably one
touch
of the
upon
worst.
Jupiter? That was the episode Jupiter Jazz. Did they do Jupiter Jazz?
Wait, what happened in that one?
Jupiter Jazz. I don't want to spoil it, but that was the one with I believe with Grin and everything. Basically
Okay.
I'll just read this synopsis. So with Jet on her heels, Faye empties the crew safe and flees to Callisto. Spike traces Julia's trail, leading him to another face-off with Vicious.
Oh yeah, and I think
So yeah,
I think they did that in the live action, but it wasn't as good or meaningful or heartfelt as the anime.
As that one, okay.
Wait, was
Because that's I
Gran?
think yeah, because you guys were talking about Julie's like betrayal, whichever.
Yeah,
But I
they
could
gave
have
her way
sworn
too many
Grin was in
scenes.
that one.
Like in the anime, she probably had like what,
And
maybe 5 minutes of screen time, but in the live
yeah,
action, she probably has like half an hour where they're talking and just having bad scenes.
okay. Yeah, Grin was
Gran
at
is
number two.
also Gran is also reimagined or different in the live action, so be ready for that.
I'm just gonna finish rewatching the anime as well. I'll hope for the best. maybe I'll watch that and then I'll go back and watch some Loki to ease my mind.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see your thoughts once you actually watch the
The live action.
the live action. Yeah, because Grant is definitely not the same character.
Tough. Nice.
All right.
Sorry though.
All right. Any last thoughts?
Not on me. I gotta rewatch it. I gotta finish watching it.
You gotta finish watching, and you gotta watch the live action. We want to hear your thoughts on it, Tokyo Sun. We'll
I
we'll
definitely will let you know.
we'll definitely. I'm sure you'll definitely let us know what you think of the live action. Like for me, like I said, it's a very meh adaptation. It does do some things right. There are good things about it. I mean, I think this is for sure going to get a season 2, and I'm just saying it's like a 4.5 out of 10 for me. Mikey, what about you?
And like I said earlier, I gave it a 5.5 to 6 out of 10 because the stuff they did right, they really did right, but the stuff they did wrong was just so bad and
So bad.
kind of made me mad, but it made me more excited to watch the anime, which I am currently doing right now. And yeah, the anime is so much better.
So good.
I
So
wonder
good.
if there's been like a super spike, no pun intended, in the like viewership of the anime on Netflix.
Well, probably because everyone's watching the live action because it's on the front page where it's like trending on
Yeah,
Netflix.
Oh yeah.
for
Definitely,
sure.
definitely it's probably seen a spike. I would assume. People are like, all right, I watched this. Oh, what's right next to it? Let me watch the anime. And then they watch it and they're probably like, I don't know. It's so much better. But I mean, why don't they just do it like that, man? Why not just make live actions like almost identical to to the anime? I mean, they don't have to make it
Oh shit!
mean, but like hit episodes, like key episodes, and actually do them correct too. It seems like, but
Yeah. Oh, are we
No, it's me. I'm messing up.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was like, are we glitching out? I do okay. So I think one of the things is that just there's some things in anime just don't translate to live action, and I think writers, I don't know whether it be ego or they feel like they need to correct something that they feel like, oh, this doesn't translate to anime, so we have to adapt it. I think also they do it in comic books as well, like comic book movies, but I think they've had more practice at it. Hollywood has to adapting comic book movies than anime, and there's also kind of the cultural barrier there to where it's easier for them to adapt a comic book into live action than an anime. I would say though that this is a step up from the Netflix Death Note movie.
ooh, I didn't watch that. Was that actually bad or was that good?
Oh no, it's horrible.
It was horrible. Okay, okay. All right.
It's
Well,
bad.
I will continue not to watch it then because I'm not going to ruin my experience that I had with Death Note. I'm not going to ruin that. Forget that.
For sure. All right. So this has been today's episode. We'll stop it there. I wanted to say thank you, Tokyo Sun, for joining us.
No problem. No problem.
It's been a pleasure having you here, like listening to your thoughts, and you even had. I guess you have a big super fan too, so I'm sure the audience has enjoyed listening to you. Why don't you plug your socials again and your Twitch?
Okay. So I'm on YouTube as well. It's just Tokyo_Sun. On Instagram, you could find me in Tokyo Sun. It's on the slide there, and also on Twitch, Mondays and Wednesdays 10 a.m. 10 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays they vary in streaming. And it's Tokyo 2_ and Sun SON on Twitch. It's been
Or
fun, and I definitely appreciate you guys, man, having me, come on here, man. This is it's actually my first podcast, man, to be honest with you.
Oh, nice.
This was my very first one,
Okay.
and a couple of my friends have been telling me on Twitch, they've been like, "Man, you need to like try to do some podcasts, man." So, and I'm happy that I was able to be blessed to be on you guys' show, man. It's actually really dope, and I've had a lot of fun with you as well, Gio, and you as well, Hi-Fi. I wrong name. Sorry,
Where's
man.
your dog?
But yeah, no, you have the voice for it, and you're pretty
You
a
do.
natural in with the
You
discussion
do.
aspect.
You have the sexy voice, as one of our viewers commented.
Oh my.
You got
No,
the perfect radio voice, dog.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that for
You know what
sure.
you should do, man? You should get a job as like an announcer for like the Pacers or one of the local sports teams.
Oh my. I'd start jacking up their names, but their names are tough, man. Some of those guys, dude, they'd be mad at me. They be coming up there.
Got practice, man.
Yeah, now that'd be cool.
All right, so Mikey, let's before we get into the ending, let me get the final word. Let me get the one.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Because I'm not. This I
You're watching
forgot.
the stream, which is 10 seconds behind.
No, because remember the stream crashed and I forgot to hit watch stream again. Anyways, so final word for today. Whenever you are taking someone else's work, don't feel like you have such an ego that you can approve upon it. That is the point that really bothered me when talking about the Cowboy Bebop live action, saying that you had to correct or change some things in the original. We see this all the time, and sometimes, you can adapt something to a modern audiences, and it has worked to some success. If you look at some of the Marvel movies, they have done some good things. I think Scarlet Witch's portrayal was a more grounded version of the character that it worked. But don't ever think like you can improve or correct it as if you are pretty much God's gift to something, right? We're talking about the ego and the fragility of the ego. People like Kanye West, who, yes, they are geniuses and have created some of the greatest music of all time, but at the same time has felt like they can do no wrong and everything they do is brilliant and surround themselves by yes men. In the end, at the very end of the day, no matter how good you are at something, if your ego inflates so much to you feel like you are untouchable, you have then become worthless and a piece of shit. Don't be like that. Always keep yourself grounded, humble, have some confidence in who you are as a person and, be proud of your craft. But don't let it make you lose who you really are as a person, right? Don't get a big head. Because no one wants to work with an asshole. And that's just really what it is. This has been your boy, Gio Huey Flo, alongside my regular co-host,
Mikey.
alongside my weekly guest co-host.
Oh, well, he went to the bathroom. But,
Oh,
Tokyo Sun.
Tokyo Sun. Shout out to Tokyo Sun. Reminding you to stick around for the post show. And then also, don't forget to check us out on the 1v1 show on our socials. If you hit the command there, it will show up our Instagram, our Twitter, our Patreon, and our YouTube. Don't forget to check us out all there. Give us a like, subscribes, follows on there. And yeah, this has been your boy telling you to stay thriving, stay fighting, and stay surviving. We'll see you next week.
Later. Peace.
Peace.
And we're back. Welcome to the
Oh,
1v1 show post show, and Geo is discussing in the background. And yeah, if
I
you're
just
new here, well, we just had our show where we had a whole segment with a bunch of topics. The post show is pretty much kind of the same thing, but without all those graphics, and it's a much more informal discussion, and we just go through some of our just a bunch of random topics. And but first, let's start off with our how was our Thanksgiving break, guys? Uh, for me, it was chill, whatever. I just stayed home and watched Bebop. I think the live action one. What about you, Gio?
sorry. I just fucking fell, and it hurts.
No. Oh no.
That's why I was cussing in the background.
Oh
How'd you
no.
Uh,
fall?
I stepped on something and fell off.
A Lego.
Dang.
I
You
don't.
good now? You good now?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Um. Anyways, what were you saying?
The Thanksgiving break, the holidays, just started. How is their Black Friday shopping? Well, we'll get into that after.
Yeah, I didn't. My Thanksgiving was good. I just, went to some families over. But what did I do? I got like how do I say this? My Thanksgiving was okay, but I got like a sore on my leg that was like really hurting like last week. So Thanksgiving was kind of not really the best time.
And how about you, Tokyo?
So I was actually pretty chill. I just basically hung out with family, ate good, and just really relaxed. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like stepped away from everything. Like so I just wasn't looking at Twitch. I wasn't really watching a lot of like TV. I was just trying to be there with family basically. And now that was fun to me. That was good. And we did go shopping. We have a little outlet mall. And so we do it like every year. It's actually became a tradition. So we go there after Thanksgiving like every year and we just go and hit the outlet mall, get some good stuff.
Yeah, I actually did all my Black Friday shopping online, and then I just treated myself to some camera lenses for external camera lenses for my Galaxy S21, since it can do 4K, and I was like, oh wow, so like I could use it for like filmmaking, and I looked into like mobile filmmaking and saw that there's lenses for that kind of stuff, and they're on sale for Black Friday, and so I bought like three, and so I'm pretty hyped for them to come
Good.
in,
Yeah, that's really good.
and I'm gonna put them to use for something 1v1 related next year.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. What about you, Joe?
I didn't buy anything. I was pretty much broken. So I didn't get paid until Monday after Black Friday, and I didn't buy anything really for Black Friday. But it's Black Friday is so it's kind of outdated in the sense that they have sales all month now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, and
sad
then
that it's
some of the
gotten
stuff on Amazon were still the same price, but they make it look like they were on sale by like giving it like a huge discount, even though like that was the same exact price like what in August. But yeah. So let's just get move on into the other news we didn't get. And Toga, I forgot to send you the link to the document, but I emailed it to you. And then but yeah, so our first topic that we didn't cover is Turning Red, the new Pixar movie from the director of Bao. And it's about a character named Mei Lee, who's a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. And a protective, if not so slightly overbearing mother, Ming is never far from her daughter, an unfortunate reality for the teenager. And as it changes to her interest and body weren't enough, when she gets too excited, she becomes into a giant red panda. And the trailer came out like I think 2 weeks ago. Did you guys catch it?
I remember the original. Is it the original trailer where she's at school and she sees her mom?
Yeah,
Is that the one?
yeah.
I don't know if there was a new trailer that came out. If there was a new trailer, I didn't see it. But I'm excited for this. Pixar movies are always pretty solid. I mean, even though there are some that are a lot better than others, usually there is except for Cars 2, there is a minimum like level of quality. So I'm excited for this. Plus the fact that they're giving new people kind of the not the what's the word? They're giving them the opportunity to direct the movies is also pretty exciting to get some new voices in there. Because I'm not gonna lie, Pete Docter, Andrew Stanton, and John Lasseter, even though John Lasseter is kind of is a creep, like their movies were, they're always really good, but I feel like they were starting to get a little stale towards the end. So having new voices in there is really well, because my favorite Pixar movie, I think, I'm trying to think, was it one of the old guards that directed it? Let me see. Let me see. Mine is Coco.
Coco?
Coco's my favorite.
This came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Coco? No. Maybe like 3 years ago. That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm behind on my Pixar movies. I haven't seen Luca or Encanto.
Luca's good.
Encanto's not Pixar.
Oh, well then, never mind.
But I haven't seen Soul. I haven't seen Luca, and I haven't seen what's the one with Chris Pratt?
Oh, I haven't seen that one either. With the
what is
blue
that
people?
one?
That's not Avatar.
What is that movie? Now it's bothering me.
Like it looks like they're in a Trolls universe, but not really. Or not at all. Actually.
I keep wanting to say Imagine Dragons, but I know that's a band. What is that movie? It's bothering me. I need to know. Hold on. I'm looking it up.
Toy Story is mine though. But Soul was good too. Soul was really good. It was just sad. It was sad. But it was good though.
So prequels.
Yeah, like I still wait, is Raya Pixar or no?
Up was so
no.
good.
I haven't seen Raya either.
Up is my second favorite. It's so good.
Up was so good.
My second favorite is Ratatouille.
Ratatouille?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so you still haven't found a movie, Gio?
Hold on. I'm going to look it up right now.
Dude,
it is Onward. That's what it is.
I think The Incredibles has to be.
All right, so moving on to the next one is Metroid. I mean, what was the narrative here, Gio?
Oh, okay. So basically,
announced a new thing, and we don't know what it is.
Okay, so not Retro Studios, Mercury Steam, who just released Metroid Dread, have announced a joint partnership on a third-person action RPG for PC and consoles. The important thing about this is they partnered up with 505 Studios, with 505 Studios to put out this game. And the thing about this is 505 is also the ones who have published a lot of the Remedy games. So like Alan Wake, Control, and what's the other one? Quantum Break. So it's pretty exciting to see what they're going to put on next. Although some people are very... They wanted Mercury Steam to start working on a brand new Metroid game like immediately after this. But the fact that they're coming out with their own IP, we'll see what they do. The fact that we know that they can work on something that's top quality, because Metroid Dread has been getting like good reviews. I haven't played it yet. I own it, but I haven't opened it yet because I've been playing other games. But just to see what this studio is putting out, knowing that they're able to deliver on a Metroid game, and now they're going to come out with a new IP.
Oh, is there like fear of them not returning to Metroid, even though they've done it twice?
Well, because they're like basically they're a third party contracted by Nintendo to make the game. So with Nintendo, you never really know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I've never
So-
played any Metroid games.
Really? Oh my god. Oh my
PlayStation
goodness.
life.
Whatever. Anyways, you want me to do the next story?
Yeah.
All right. So the Matt Zorro, the uh, swashbuckling Mexican superhero. I guess you could say he's like the first Mexican superhero. They're going to bring him back in hacker form. At least that's the plan. Alex Rivera has been tapped by Sobini Films to write and direct Zorro 2.0, which imagines the famous swashbuckler as a modern day hacker. Which is, I don't know. This is very strange to me that they're doing this. Apparently, they've been trying to create a new Zorro project for the past few years now, because Antonio Banderas took on the role in The Mask of Zorro and the not really good sequel, The Legend of Zorro. And since then, no one has ever really created a Zorro TV show, movie, or project. So they're trying to reboot that character into a hacker fighting against, evil corporations, the good hacker stealing from the bad and giving to the poor. And here is the synopsis of the movie. So, where is it? It imagines the iconic character as Oscar de la Vega,
Oh yeah.
a young undocumented hacker known as C0RR0. While fighting back against a secret government unit that attacked his mother, he discovers a high-tech conspiracy that threatens not only his family, but also the world. I mean, this is very much like tipping the line of me like, this could be cool, or this could be really try hard. So, not really, don't know how I feel about this. Also, the person that's tapped to write and direct it, Alex Rivera, is a recipient of the 2021 MacArthur Genius Grant, which
What does that mean?
I only remember that from the movie Sindeki, New York, where he got the Genius Grant, and basically they were giving him money to come up with his greatest works, and that's pretty much like they like someone gives you a large chunk of money to like come up with your like life's work or your like, pretty
I
weird.
know.
Anyways, moving on to the next
I
story.
haven't seen the only Zorro I've seen was on Nick at Night, and then I
Oh,
was
like the
super.
old one?
No, it was
Really?
Disney, the Disney Vault.
You haven't seen the Antonio Banderas?
Oh yeah, and because of the Disney Vault, I was super hyped for the Antonio Banderas Zorro, and then I thought that was dope. I even liked the second one, but I was a little kid.
I remember not liking the second one. The first one was dope.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next story. If I can, my computer's like tripping up right now. All right, so
I'm eating snacks, man.
For sure. Oh, hide you so you can eat freely.
wait, what?
Oh, never mind. Well, Togi said it was eating, so I was like, wait, I could hide his screen so I can eat, munch how he pleases. But yeah. So what's up with the next one?
All right, sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. But Fortnite bought Rock Band. So Epic is experiencing its portfolio once again, announcing today that it has purchased Harmonix. So Epic, as you know, is the company that makes Fortnite, and they ended up buying Harmonix, which is behind basically Fortnite, not Fortnite, Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Dance Central, and basically what they say is they're going to use Harmonix to create epic musical experiences in Fortnite. So what that means, I don't really know. But if you're gonna get someone to work on something music related, like music video game related, you would think that Harmonix is the number one people to look at buying. And who knows like what this means, because we already know that Fortnite has been kind of expanding into like the music industry with like the concerts that they have, and they've been somewhat successful. They've had Weezer there, they've had Ariana Grande, they've had Travis Scott, who, his virtual concerts, he should probably only have virtual concerts from now on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to imagine what Harmonix can do to create a new experience in Fortnite with these concerts. I don't know, any ideas?
I've never honestly I haven't played more than like maybe half an hour of Fortnite, but I've seen the virtual concerts and they look dope and like fun to be a participant of, like the
Yeah.
Travis
Well,
Scott Fortnite concert. So like I don't know, like I feel like
what do
they
you?
could lead in like virtual concerts or lead the wave.
I mean, it could be the next step to like that Ready Player One VR thing. To be honest, because that's really what it is, right? If they ever get VR Fortnite, that's Ready Player One.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they already have all the skins like Batman, Kratos, Master Chief, whoever. But also like, because you've obviously played Rock Band, Guitar Hero. What can they do to really expand that? What's the word, that concert experience? Like I'm trying to think of that. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Nick Cage has a new wacky role, and he's going to play Dracula in Universal's upcoming monster movie Renfield. The movie stars Nicholas Hoult as Dracula's notorious lackey, R.M. Renfield, who appears alongside the Count in Bram Stoker's original novel. So they don't really know anything else about Renfield, but what we know is it's going to be kind of an origin story of the character. Um, and it's set to be directed by Chris McKay based on an original story outline from Robert Kirkman, who also is the guy behind The Walking Dead. So seems to be a couple big names attached to this movie. Also, I don't, in the article that I was looking up at, I didn't see if this was a part of that dark universe thing that Universal was trying,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think so. I think they're just going to make
No, they
standalone
scrapped
monster
that
movies,
idea.
and they're not going to try to do that anymore, right?
Yeah, no,
That's
because it was
dead?
supposed to be Javier Bardem and Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe all part of that, but that's all over
Yeah, I
because
remember they had
the
the
Mummy failed so
Vanity
bad.
Fair. Damn. Remember, what was I
Yes,
going to say?
yes, I remember.
Remember the Invisible Man movie? Wasn't that supposed to be a part of that too?
Yeah, which I turns heard is actually decent, but I still haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
I heard it's a good movie. I don't think it's connected to anything.
And to
But
be honest, I'm not
yeah,
really
whatever.
like into Dracula or like vampire stuff. Like, not because I'm afraid of it. I don't know. It doesn't like appeal to me.
Doesn't
Like,
confirm to you.
if anything, Underworld was like the most vampire-y stuff that I like.
That's Kate Beckinsale, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways, Elder Scrolls. So
Wait,
according
wait,
to
hold up, Tokyo. Are you talking? Because I think your mic's muted.
Yeah, my mic was muted. I'm sorry, I was bashing food. Forgot to
Uh-huh.
turn my mic back on. Human error. All right. No, I like Dracula. However, I mean I don't like him like that, but I mean I like the essence of vampires. I like that
Hmm.
stuff. But Nicolas Cage, I don't see it. I don't. I think Nicolas Cage is he's trying to pull a Samuel L. and it's not working for him. It's like
I
trying to
think,
be in everything and it's just working. Like,
well, that's the kind of actor Nick Cage is in, right? It seems like he'll just take any role, like no matter how
yeah,
big or how small the movie is.
yeah. I mean, it's money is money, but I mean, it's at the same time like, all right, kind of you're just taking roles and they're not really standing out to anything. Like you're just there and you're fulfilling the role. But I mean, he's got so many movies on like Netflix and just like kind of lower budget movies, but he's not had a huge blockbuster hit in a while that I can remember. And I mean, it's kind of sad because I mean, he used to be like in the glory days with Con Air and everything else. It's like Face Off. Like, what happened? Maybe he's just it's. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good though. Maybe it'll bring him back. Maybe it'll bring him back. But I did see that stuff about Dracula though. I'm gonna watch it.
I do want to watch. I was going when I was going through like kind of the show notes. I did see a trailer for a Nick Cage movie where it was basically a rip off of Five Nights at Freddy. I kind of want to watch that because it looks pretty goofy and wacky and just Nick Cage craziness.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next story. Let's move on. Elder Scrolls confirmed to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. In an interview with British GQ, Phil Spencer said that he sees the sequel to Skyrim as a similar case to fellow Bethesda title Starfield, which was confirmed for Xbox Series X and S and PC earlier this year. And it seems like it's going to come down to what can be on the Xbox ecosystem. So, cloud gaming, Xbox Live Services, and all that. And he says, and these are in quotes, it's not about punishing any other platform. Like, I fundamentally believe all platforms can continue to grow. But in order to be on Xbox, I want us to be able to bring the full, complete package of what we have. And that would be true when I think of Elder Scrolls 6. That would be true when I think about any of our franchises. So, because, as you're both probably well aware, Microsoft bought Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax for a large sum of money. I think it was like it was in the billions. They're going to use that. They're going to use those IPs as exclusives on their own platforms to bring more people to the Xbox ecosystem. So, I don't know. How do you all feel about this Elder Scrolls being now exclusively to Xbox? For me, I mean, it is what it is. I played Skyrim for I only had it for about a week because I borrowed it from a friend, but I feel like I barely scratched the surface of that game, and I would like to go back to it. I just haven't had the time, or other games have come out. But I would like to try the new Elder Scrolls, and I don't have an Xbox, so I'm gonna either have to get that gaming PC like I keep saying I'm gonna get, or end up shucking for an Xbox. So, but I think if I get a PC, it really won't matter because then I'll just have between an Xbox, between a PlayStation, a Switch, and a PC, I'd probably have access to everything.
I feel like Elder Scrolls will eventually be cross-platform.
Do you think so?
It's Elder Scrolls. The sequel to Skyrim. It has to.
Mm-mm. I don't agree. Sorry, Mikey.
Why is
I
that?
don't agree. So, Elder Scrolls, Bethesda, yeah, they get snatched up by Microsoft.
Oh wait,
Now,
yeah, because Xbox owns them.
yeah, so Xbox owns them. So they're not going to give leverage. This is the only thing that is really going to come through other than Fable and sell systems. It's their single player experience that Bethesda's hold tight to. I mean, they're not really
Oh yeah,
multiplayer.
that's a
They
good.
tried it.
Yeah,
That's gonna sell systems
that's a
later in the
system
year
seller.
or
Yeah, for
whenever
sure,
it comes out.
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. But even is Elder Scrolls a real game at this point? Like we're so far off, it's probably gonna be at the end of the life cycle of Xbox Series X. Like you're holding all the chips, but you're already gonna lose out on system sales because the game is we're in like being done in my eyes. But I mean they're trying to take a shot at PlayStation, man. But I mean it's all a part of the competition which breeds excellence. I think that this competition is needed. I think they needed to buy Bethesda because they were gonna just have PS4 versus Xbox One all over again. If they didn't do anything. And so I
Yeah,
think this is a good step.
I think they had to make some moves because what is the biggest knock on Xbox? They don't have exclusives. They don't have exclusives. Why bother, right? It's mostly seen as a third-party machine, and it worked for them during the Xbox 360 era because they had such a better infrastructure as far as kind of the online and the services they had on the Xbox compared to what Sony was offering at the time, even though they didn't have exclusive games. But now that Sony kind of caught up to them and kept putting out banger after banger game of the year type games, and Xbox is like, well, you could play like Call of Duty here, and it's like, well, we can do that on the other systems. So
Oh,
why?
you can play this shooter.
Like
Please,
exactly.
please, please buy our system. No. I'd rather play
So,
this AAA Spider-Man. Like this is what I want to do. I want to be Spider-Man. And now we got Wolverine. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. They're still gonna lose. Sony still has banger after banger coming out.
Yeah, like
This is
Elder
wild.
Scrolls is not enough for me to be like, oh, you know what? I want an Xbox now. Like they
but
have
the cool thing
Halo, and I
about
still
it
haven't bought an Xbox. And
The
Halo's
cool thing
dope.
about it is though you can play all of that on PC, so you just need to get
Exactly.
Yeah.
a good gaming PC and you have it right there.
Exactly. I mean, you
Yeah.
hit it on the head, Joe. And like the same thing. Their the Game Pass is PC. So I'm like, what's the purpose of me buying your system? It's like they're killing themselves. But I hope that they don't go that route where they just strictly just say that it doesn't matter with the console. And I don't know. So I don't know, Mikey. They may make it just a timed exclusive, but I don't see that. I don't see it necessarily happening because their system very well might die if they just don't does it to the vest.
Yeah, no, you convinced me. Like, yeah, I don't. That seems like one of their tickets for, or like their keys to success for selling a console.
Mhm.
All right, Gio.
It is.
Let's move on to the next story. Skynet in real life. So, the U.S. scientists who created the first living robots say that the life forms known as xenobots can now reproduce and in a way not seen in plant animals. Formed from the stem cells of the African clawed frogs, from which it takes its name, the
All right,
xenobots
so
are less than a
basically,
millimeter wide.
Gio. Basically, they made robots the size of like millimeter, like little droplets, and they can act on their own. And they found out that they can self heal and work together in groups. And these aren't like typical robots that you would see like in Terminator. These are like stem cell sized robots. So like think, and they're called xenobots, which are very early technology in terms of like uh where we are right now. So like it's the equivalent of a 1940s computer, and it doesn't really have any practical applications. But like, yeah, scientists think they want it to be used to collect microplastics in bodies or like the oceans, and also inspect root muscles and like the muscles and plants and life and all that stuff, and also inspect regenerative medicine. But people are afraid because self-healing robots sound scary.
Yeah, have we not learned anything from movies these like past like 40 years? Scientists need to stop fucking around.
Yeah, I would say, but I mean, they're doing it for the research. I mean, this is gonna be bad, but I mean, we probably won't see the end results of it, but our offspring will see. But I mean, it could go very good. You know, what if we were in a world where it wasn't iRobot and it actually worked? That world was actually working for a while, and then until everything went rogue. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared of all that stuff.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Gio, you wouldn't
Um,
own you a robot? You wouldn't own a robot?
no, I would
Why?
not. I would not
You
own a
wouldn't own
robot.
a robot?
Nope. Let's say, oof. All right. Next story. So, according to a recent investor proposition, the company that made DC Universe Online is working on a Marvel IP, like a Marvel Universe Online, an MMO. So, do you play MMOs a lot, Tokyo-san? Are you a big
No, not
MMO guy?
no,
Yeah, I'm not
not
either.
too much.
What
Yeah,
about
no, I'm
you,
not really
Mikey?
into MMOs.
Yeah, I'm not an MMO person either, but it's pretty interesting that this company goes from making DC Universe Online to, you know, now they're making the Marvel Universe Online. It's kind of like what's his face? Uh, who directed the last Star Wars? What's his name?
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. It's like J.J. Abrams working on both Star Trek and Star Wars. It's like you get both sides of the faction, but I think it's pretty cool. Like good for that
You know,
studio. They're able to work DC and Marvel. Um, Next story. Apparently that Gina Carano led show. What was it called? Uh, Rangers of the New Republic. Apparently, it hasn't been in production for a while because she
yeah,
did
because
get
it was
fired. But
immediately canceled.
according to Kathleen Kennedy, they're gonna kind of use some of the ideas in there and absorb it into the Mandalorian. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Mikey? You're my go-to Star Wars guy. Do you think that's
I
a
mean, I thought it
that's
was
a good
kind of
choice?
a given right when they canceled or like the show and then took off Gina Carano, and like because they already had a plan for that show, and
Mm-hmm.
since they're having a bunch of spin-offs in the same era with Ahsoka and Boba Fett, like I was assuming like okay, we'll probably see those X-wing pilots in those shows rather than their own spin-off.
I know
But
this might be
yeah,
blasphemy,
so like
but I
it's cool that they're
still think
getting more work still.
Yeah. You were trying to say something, Tokyo-san?
No, I'm sorry. I thought he was done. No, I have to finish The Mandalorian. I know that's blasphemy. I was
It's
streaming
cool.
and
I haven't
stuff.
even started it.
Yeah, with streaming and stuff, it's tough to like watch shows, and there's so many shows I got to catch up on. My backlog is crazy.
Oh, I feel it, man. My back hurts under my backlog. Crushing it. The next one, I mean, this is kind of just a quick hit, but Martin Scorsese's directing a Grateful Dead biopic starring Jonah Hill. I've never listened to the Grateful Dead, so this story kind of like, to me, I know they're a big deal, and there's people who are very dedicated to the Grateful Dead, but I've never actually listened to them. Have you? Either of you?
No, not really. I'm not really familiar with their work.
No,
But I
not
thought it was
yet.
interesting that Martin Scorsese is having Jonah Hill as the starring role. And
Jerry Garcia.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
All right.
But, yeah.
Next one. The Super Mario movie's casting caused a big stir because they announced Chris Pratt was going to be Mario, and the producer of the movie and founder of Illumination Studios, Chris Meledandri, basically said that Chris Pratt is not going to do a Italian voice. He says, when asked about the character's Italian accent and whether the iconic "It's a me, Mario" antics will be represented, he said that it's not the tenor of the performance. However, he added that it's covered in the movie and that we definitely nod to that. That quote bothers me for a reason. Like we cover it and it's definitely a nod to that. Like it's, I don't know why. It just kind of just seems like we're gonna change it and we're gonna make some little acknowledgments, but we think our way is better and we're like a bunch of head asses. I don't know. I just have no faith in the studio that made the Minions making a good Mario movie, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not really
how do y'all feel about Mario?
hyped for this movie at all. Sorry, Tokyo. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this going to be like live action or is this going to be like animated?
Animated, like 3D.
It's going to be animated 3D because I was
so,
looking
like,
at some of the cast.
Sonic
and
and
they
Pokemon?
had like Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong and
Yeah.
like Seth Rogen's gonna be like Jack Black is Bowser. Like that's gonna be sick. Like I think this is actually gonna be kind of sick, especially if it's not live action.
I think it's just Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is being Mario. Yeah,
Chris Pratt. That's just the only one. Like all the other casting, I'm fine with. It's just Chris Pratt. I'm just like, what is this?
but I kind of
like.
love.
Is he gonna have like a?
I kind of
is he
like
gonna have like a
the way he acts though. I kind of like that. I don't know. I kind of with that as a Mario, and it
but
doesn't
not as
necessarily
Mario.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily need like a voice for Mario. Let's be honest. Like Mario really doesn't say anything. So like, yeah, if we can move past the Italian like type of voice, I mean, I think he would give a voice to actually Mario in a sense because Mario doesn't really.
If it's just gonna be him as Chris Pratt, I'm like, I think that's just that's gonna sound weird to me.
Well, who would you cast as Mario then?
He's not gonna be. He's not.
Who would I cast as Mario?
Him.
Danny DeVito. No, I don't know. I don't know. I'd cast Danny DeVito as Wario. I'll tell you that. I think that'd be good. But as far as Mario, I don't know.
And what would you imagine for the voice of Mario? Like
if he doesn't have like a thick accent, I would picture he'd have like a Brooklyn, like New York accent. That's what I would picture Mario having, like a very like Brooklyn accent. But nah, we'll see. This movie, you know what? We might get a trailer at the Game Awards this Friday. So maybe.
Well, one thing is gonna be it's gonna be better than the other one that came out. So
the '80s one for sure.
Yeah, the one in the '90s. Yeah, let's just be honest. That's gonna be way better than that.
Hopefully,
so,
they portray Yoshi better.
Yeah, but not as good, right? Not as good as Super Mario Brothers Super Show, the old cartoon. That was my shit.
I remember that.
All right. Let's see. Next one. Oh, this is about basically Mr. Beast, a popular YouTuber. Him coming up with a Squid Game kind of.
Yo, that was sick.
A Squid Game kind of version of his on his YouTube channel. He like created a version of Squid Game. It had more views than I believe in a week than the first month of the actual Netflix show, which got into the discussion of a creator content economy. To why are people putting money into creating TV shows when these content creators are able to make something that gets more views on the cheap? I don't know. What are all of your thoughts on that?
I mean, well, it's
Um,
25-minute video compared to 11 or 10 episodes. Easier to consume.
Yeah, I mean, true. You have to think about like kind of the attention span of kind of just the public at large and how small and short it is. And then people, I think some people in the article were talking about how what if YouTube had like a free tier where you could watch like content like that, but I don't know. That's why we have YouTube, right? To watch like content like that that's technically quote unquote free. But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean,
also,
I
go ahead.
saw it though. So I saw it, and like, well, I saw a little bit of it. I mean, it wasn't a whole bunch, but I mean, the fact that they actually reenacted the games, like they actually took that budget and did all that, that was amazing. I think he said he spent like, oh, I know it was millions. It was millions what he spent on it, just in the budget alone, just making the places where they're playing the games. Like it was actually pretty sick, and he's giving actual prize. I'm like, where's he getting all this money from? First off, but like he's just throwing money away, giving people $10,000, $1,000 here, and just like giving out like $500,000 almost just for winning. Like that was, of course, it's gonna drive views because people are winning actual money in real life. Is winning that, and
How
it's
do
like
you
taking the
find
it's
those
taking the
people?
actual show and then people dying in there, but and then he's just playing, but it's not for play money, it's actually for real money and giving it to people. Like, of course, people are gonna see that, and that's gonna just drive him up more. It's just
How how does he find those people? Like
Oh, it was
randomly
on
or
TikTok. He put it on TikTok, and then people replied on TikTok, and then I guess he just picked local people. I'm assuming.
oh, okay.
he hosts contests sometimes for like some of his like I think he did one where somebody keep your hands on the Lamborghini, you get to keep it. Whoever keeps their hand on the Lamborghini the longest. And like so like he has contests all the time like that, and which is
Uh,
wild. And no wonder he's like number one YouTube star. Like it's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like it's also the fact that like Squid Game is like a damning like commentary on capitalism and oh let's I think the like okay yeah he's trying to do this thing that's popular and he is giving away money to a person but it's like it's still like the whole concept goes over the head of the actual messaging of the show and it's just kind of to me it kind of gives me like a the society we live in.
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
whatever.
imagine being on that show and winning $456,000,
Or we could just, give a
and
lot
not
of
and you
people
don't have to
like
die.
some money. We could give a lot of people like a decent amount of money to where like, oh hey, you're not gonna be rich or have like the $400,000, but here's like a couple grand so you could pay your bills and not get kicked out of your house.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I understand that, but like, yeah, to a certain extent, he's got to make content. So he's
he's
making,
like I said, it's the sensationism of it,
yeah, I
right?
mean,
It's
he's
the
he's
hype
making
and
so much.
the
Yeah, he's making so much money. He's basically charioting away this money for tax purposes. It would seem,
yeah.
um, but I don't know if that for sure because I'm not a tax expert. So, but I mean, he's giving away this money that he's making throughout the year, and he's also, I mean, blessing real people. Like these people are, yeah, you got to go out there and earn it a little bit, but what do you got to do? You got to keep your hand on the money or something like that. You got to win a contest, and he gives other people actual chances to come back. And he could just donate, but we don't know if he donates to other people and does all those. All we see is on YouTube. But I think what he's doing is creative in the sense that nobody else can do it. Nobody else has the funds to do it.
I think it's
And
just the fact that he's using Squid Game, and which is like super counterintuitive to what he's doing. Just kind of the messaging is just mixed to where, yeah, I get it because it's popular, it's the trendy thing to do, but just the actual messaging of the show contradicts to what he's actually doing, in my opinion.
I understand. I understand. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like because the show is, I don't know, the show is different, and yeah, people are dying. And he's taking a spin off of that, and yeah, it's like what people would do for the money.
But like you said, it is also, he is giving away. He's giving money to actual people.
Yeah, it's actual people that he's giving it to, and people that don't win, he's still giving them like $1,000. He's giving away gifts and PS5, like computers, TVs, like new phones. Like I think I was watching the one with the Lamborghini, and he gave the girl the option. So she was like, "Yeah, she's kept her hand up there. She's tired." And then she's like, "All right, let's make a deal." And she's like, "All right, me and my friends, we need phones. We need to pay our college tuition. Let's make a deal. You give me 2 phones and like $30,000, and I'll take my hand off the Lamborghini, which is like 350,000."
Yeah, I would have kept my hand on there, but like, nah, man, you gotta up that. You gotta up that.
But yeah, she took her hand off though. But he gave her money to pay for her college, basically, and gave her and a roommate, some money, which he probably only spent 10,000 on it and pocketed the rest. But I mean, still, that's just like that's I think that's dope and a dope way to give back. But I don't necessarily agree in a certain extent that you should always show everything that you're giving away.
True.
I am a believer of that.
All right. Last story of the show. Basically, Sony has come out. We talked about Sony, Jim Ryan coming out and pretty much condemning Activision Blizzard for kind of their workplace practices. But they are also getting hit with a lawsuit as Emma Majo, a former IT security analyst at PlayStation, is looking for court approval to pursue a class action lawsuit representing women at PlayStation who have faced discrimination within Sony in the past 4 years. The document claims that male and female employees at Sony have faced different treatment, and Sony has failed to respond adequately to evidence and complaints as such. My question to you both is: how badly does Sony look? How bad does Sony look in the face of them just condemning what Activision has done?
I mean, it's not surprising that yet another video game company is treating their employees poorly. And and PlayStation is not an exception to the rule because I think it's happened everywhere, even in this industry and other industries as well.
Yeah, I think also the fact is like it just shows that the whole industry needs to be like cleaned out. Like the gaming industry has been dominated by men for so long, so it's not surprising that you see this at almost every company. Even though the fact is that Activision Blizzard was so bad that the government had to get involved. So, not saying that this is on a less scale, but just showing it how damning things were at Activision Blizzard.
So, I think my thoughts on this, man, and I don't want to sound like an asshole at all, and saying things like this, but I mean, I understand that women are wanting their voice in a lot of stuff, but it's coming to the cost where it's like, I guess they have to make a change, but I'm seeing a trend of, necessarily want to say Me Too movement, but it's the trend of, all right, somebody's going to get penalized. We're going to get these big names penalized so we can make a difference. It's like, yeah, I get it, but it's kind of like, man, come on. Like, it's pushing the envelope, but I mean, yeah, women need to get respected more, and I get that. And discriminating towards them is never okay. And I mean, this is coming from, I guess you can call me a Sony fanboy, but like I'm not, but I'm with all of them, but still wrong is wrong. And yeah, women need to get treated well because they're actually very intelligent, and I mean they have a lot of ideas that probably could change the game and probably make you a lot more and be powerhouses themselves. So I don't know. It's tough with this one, man, but yeah, definitely discipline action needs to be seen.
Yeah. And then you never really like this. I think this is very early stages also of the lawsuit. Like we need to see exactly who is being like. Is it specifically a department or maybe a certain person in the studio? Because if it's just one person with some power and like you can just get rid of them and work towards getting rid of whatever influence they had. So we don't really know the kind of the details of the of what this lawsuit is saying, as opposed to Activision Blizzard, where we know it was like the head of Blizzard, J. Allen Brack, Bobby Kotick, in like the recent stories, like he threatened a woman to saying he was going to kill her. One of the women that was promoted to be the head of Activision Blizzard, or to co-run it, pretty much stepping down a month after she was giving that job because she wasn't getting paid as much as the guy who was also promoted to run it as well as her. So, like Activision Blizzard, we know all, like pretty much a lot of the skeletons are out. Like this Sony case, I think, is just something that we need to just keep an eye on.
Yeah,
see
but
what.
I think, in a sense, I think that this is going to be kind of not swept under the rug, but it's going to be a payout. It's like, all right, man, we're gonna close this out. We're gonna offer you.
I
We're
can
gonna
see
offer you
that.
X amount, and we won't hear anything about it anymore. It's something that, yeah, you felt wrong. We'll offer you this. If she wants to push the issue, we learned our lesson. We're gonna never like discriminate. We're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. But I mean, okay, here's your payout. You're already gone. Like, here's some extra money. So can we just keep moving forward? Like, you're coming at a powerhouse. Like, that's going to be tough. That's a tough hill to climb, especially when you don't have the resources that they do. And I mean, I think a nice dollar amount that we won't know about until it's later will suffice. And I think that they can move on, and everyone learns their lesson.
For sure. All right. Well, that's the end of the subtopics. That's the end of pretty much anything for the post show. Any last words before we wrap it up here?
Get a PS5.
Get a PS5. Yeah.
No, no, man. It's been fun, man. I've had a blast with you guys today, man. To be honest with you.
It is dope.
Once again,
Like, it was dope having you on. And
Yeah, for sure.
And hearing your takes on Bebop, like even having not seen the anime, and you convinced me with the, what was it, the Elden Ring? No, the other one. The Souls game.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Oh, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Yes, that's what it was. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Elden Ring's gonna be dope. That Elden Ring's gonna be actually pretty sick. It's gonna be actually pretty sick.
Yes, sir. All right, then.
You close out the show, Joe?
Yeah, I'll close it out. Anyways, thank you for coming on, Tokyo-san. Thank you for being here with us. Appreciate you. Thank you to all the viewers who are here, listening, watching us. Anyone who stopped by earlier today, except for Ryan Gosling lookalike. I hate that man. Anyways, like I said, you can if you hit the 1v1 command, you can check out our socials, whether it be our Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, or YouTube. Don't forget, next week we will be having our Christmas episode, and then we will be going on another break. And then, other than that,
next week is our season finale. And then,
yeah, exactly. And then we're going on a break.
We'll be starting our new season next year in like mid August, or no, mid Jan. I don't know why I said
mid August. Yeah, that's a long break. But for sure, like I said, this has been your boy Gio Huey Flo, alongside my co-host, my regular co-host,
Mikey,
and my guest co-host,
Yo.
Telling y'all, stay thriving, stay surviving, and stay fighting. And we will catch you all later. Peace.